Falcons. They're acquiring cornerback Jeff Okudah from the Lions for a fifth-round pick in this year's NFL Draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates. The move is good for Okudah, the third overall pick in 2020, and Atlanta, believes Fitz and Harry co-host Harry Douglas.
Look at the secondary. They have A.J. Terrell, a young, phenomenal corner. They signed Jesse Bates, the third, from the safety position. They had Casey Hayward. Now you add a third guy in Jeff Okudah. And sometimes, guys, it's just the important factor that guys need a fresh start somewhere else. Right, Jeff Okudah, he's plagued by injuries in Detroit, couldn't quite get things going. He's going to have that fresh start.
Safety Jesse Bates III and defensive lineman Calais Campbell among the other defensive players brought in by the Falcons this offseason. Lakers tonight, an 8-point favorite in the NBA's play-in tournament against a Timberwolves team that will be without center Rudy Gobert. He'll serve a one-game suspension instead for punching a teammate during Sunday's regular season finale. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson will miss 2 to 4 weeks because of a sprained left knee. He was injured in a collision during last night's game.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome in. It's a Tuesday after. I'm already gone to Wednesday. Like, I need hump day to be here. Yesterday was such a long day. I needed to speed up a little bit. It is the Sportsocracy. It is a Tuesday afternoon. The Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and you can take us with you everywhere and see our beautiful faces on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat each and every day.
You know what else you can see on YouTube? Sunday Ticket Football.
That's right, the NFL Sunday Ticket. The prices have been released. And
we have vehemently different reactions to this.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. We're going to get into that. We've got other NFL news, and we're going to try something new today.
Everybody always asks me draft questions. Nobody ever asks Tank what he thinks.
And no one should ask me what I think.
He just sits here like he's at the DMV and didn't schedule an appointment. Just my number's 97. What number are they on? 6.
Right. So today what we're going to do is Jeremy always gives you his list of the top prospects in the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm going to give you my top 25 prospects. They're obviously going to be a lot. This kind of the same players, obviously, a much different order.
I have a very odd feeling that our lists are wildly different.
They may be.
I have several guys in my top 25 that I bet didn't sniff yours.
Well, I'm sure you can go much deeper than I can on prospects. I don't do that. I'm not the draft nerd. So I'm gonna give you my top 25. And then Jeremy's going to give us, in all his Flostradamus wisdom, the perfect fits for all of my top 25. So we're going to do that starting in the 4 o'clock hour today.
And it's live. It's off the dome.
Yep.
It'll be a fun time. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Elsewhere in the NFL, we got the Sunday Ticket news that we're going to get into here in a moment. We also have trades or trade rumors going on at the moment. The Atlanta Falcons have picked up Jeff Okudah from the Detroit Lions. Thought it was kind of weird that the Detroit Lions spent all that free agency money on corners, and they're supposedly, according to many of the mock drafters, gonna take a cornerback in the first round of the draft. And so now Jeff Okudah is in Atlanta, and one of my favorite players from my favorite team has requested a trade.
And Soaring Eagle. Well, you got to have the sound on.
There you go.
You got to turn it up there, dummy.
There you go. You had one job.
There it is. With our first super chat of the day, which is per Jenna Lane, Bucks Insider, linebacker Devin White's requested a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about that in the next segment.
Yes, indeed.
But we have to start with the big news of the day, which is you're going to get your Sunday ticket whether you like it or not.
Nope.
I am dumbfounded that you hate this so much.
I don't hate it. It's just an unnecessary cost.
You were repulsed when I told you the number on this.
You asked me what you said. Hey, so they released the numbers. What do you think Sunday ticket costs? And I went $2.99, $2.99 a year, because that's exactly what it's been. I think for the last 10 years, hasn't it? No,
it's been $400 for. I've had Sunday ticket more of my life than I haven't.
Good for you.
And then I asked you, what is every Bucks game worth?
$5.
And that it makes me angry that you keep saying that.
It's like,
all right, so
I'm not going out of my way.
I want you to walk me through this. You have a team, supposedly, you're wearing their jersey right now.
Absolutely.
But it means so little to you that spending the early price here is what, $289 with a YouTube TV subscription, which you knew that was coming. As soon as it was a streaming partner that got a hold of this, you had to know it was going to be cheaper if you had the service than if you didn't.
Yep.
It's marketing 101. I'm going to dropped out, but I still know some stuff.
Good for you.
I don't get it. I already have YouTube TV. So for me, I sit here and watch it at my desk all the time. That's even with us having DC streams. And if you want to know more about that, you feel free to just send us a message. We'll tell you everything you need to know.
Right.
You're going to spend more than this doing anything else.
Not anything else.
Other than just not watching the game, which makes you a horrible fan.
Indeed. I will not watch the game.
I haven't missed a New York Jets football game since 1997. Not one. I've missed a play here and there. I've maybe missed a quarter with something very bad happening. And I'm not saying I've been locked in on it. There's been a lot of times that I've been in a bar and it was just one of the games that was on. I'm not missing a Jets game. I don't care what you tell me it costs. Because the alternative is that I have to buy Jets season tickets, fly to New Jersey, which I would do if I didn't have an alternative, but I do. I do have an alternative. I can watch it in bars. I can do this and watch it at my house. This boils down, even if you don't do the early subscriber thing, and it's almost $500 if you don't have YouTube television, that boils down to $33 a week. It's actually even a little less than that because that was soft math because my math don't math all the time. I don't see what the problem is. There's been a lot of gnashing of teeth of, it's so expensive. You're going to pay it. And if you don't pay it, you're going to go to a bar and watch it. Because here's the one thing I know definitively you're not going to do. Well, I just won't watch. Yeah, I bet you do. I'll bet you do. We've watched this for years.
I will not. I will not watch the game. If the game is not readily available to me and I have to spend an exorbitant amount of money,
that's
which
not
to
an
me,
exorbitant amount of money.
$300 is an exorbitant amount of money.
I've spent more money after 14 domestic lights and forgot about it. So okay. That is not an exorbitant amount of money. If you told me it was $5,000, okay, now we're getting into that's a little expensive. And I don't love it.
Right. Well, I mean, you told me there's a millionaire contest for the next PGA event. What is it this weekend? The RBC.
The
Heritage. So the Heritage. There's a $1 million contest on DraftKings this week. It's $4,000 just to get into it.
$4,444.
Whatever.
4 fours. Just 4. Get it? See. Marketing
That's
again.
Insanity to me.
It's not that insane. You also don't do it for a living.
No.
I make a decent amount of my money on DraftKings. So for me, I looked at it and went, right. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but it's not insane.
Right. For 500, what'd you say, 505 sharks?
You have to beat 504 people.
Right, there you go.
And if you do, you win $1 million.
Yeah. Well, I can't beat 7 people.
Correct.
So I'm obviously not going to be in the Sharps contest for the millionaire.
No, you should continue to play the quarter jukebox.
Bingo. That's my speed right
You're
there. I
playing
put
with all the guys
$5 in at the beginning of the season. I will play dime and nickel games, and I'm cheap. What can I say?
And
I have always thought this about the NFL Sunday ticket thing, though. I don't need it, and maybe that makes me a bad fan.
Where's
Go ahead,
the
hit your
bell?
bell. Where's your bell? I got it.
There it is.
I got it. I'll hit the bell on it myself.
We'll
maybe that makes me
bell.
a bad fan, but I get 7 games for the price of nothing.
No.
Nothing extra.
No. You got 7 games. When you had Tommy touchdowns, you get a lot of primetime games. Now you're in the same boat.
I'm saying every week. I don't. Tampa Bay Buccaneers games. I'm fine. I'm fine missing the game if it's not consequential.
You don't care.
If it's a good game, if it's a good matchup, it's going to be on television.
That's not necessarily true.
Oh, come on.
You only get 3.
Tampa Bay's playing Green Bay. Was there any chance that game's not going to be on television?
Well, now there is.
Now there is.
Now there is because it's Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love.
Right.
You get to see what it's like being a Jets fan now. You want to know why I've had Sunday ticket for so long? Because we get about 3 primetime games a year, and one of them's on Thursday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I love it. 2 years of relevant football, and you think I forgot what this feels like. Like,
as you were talking to me about this earlier, there's 7 games on primetime, so I'll get all the football I want. But you don't get your team.
And I'm fine with it. Because
so basically
if it's a
what
good
you're
matchup,
saying,
it's going to be on television. I'll get the Thursday night game. I'll get the 3 games or 4 games possibly on Sunday. I'll get the Monday night game. Mm-hmm. I'll get the Sunday night game. I don't need the rest of it.
So inadvertently what you're saying is you only care about your team when they're good. Because if your team's not good, it's not going to be in those windows.
I only
You're not
want to watch
popular.
every snap when my team is good.
And that's the difference between me and you. Because as a Jets fan, I bathe in the badness.
And there's a reason one of us is an alcoholic and the other one's not.
I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings, and I've never stepped foot in one of them things. All right?
I don't think that's how they qualify.
Alcoholics need a drink. I've already had a couple.
I'm pretty sure if you talk to a therapist, they would say, yeah, that's not what makes
And
a
you know what
problem.
I tell them? What are you, a cop? You sound awful judgy over there, Doc.
No, I have always, ever since the Sunday ticket thing came out, I don't need to spend $500 a season, which is what it was originally. I don't need to spend $500 a season. I get plenty of football for free on my cable package or whatever.
And that's where you and I are different. I have to have my team. I am the fan that DirecTV's after. And I'm seeing all these people eat and sleep football said the NFL's lost their minds in our YouTube comments. No, they haven't. You know why? Because they've had over 1 million subscribers to this for many, many years. Mm-hmm. Now, with the introductory low price of just $2.89 with Red Zone, that number's going to go up. And guess what? If you consume your football with Red Zone, here's what they didn't tell you. You're not going to have the opportunity to do that anymore. Because bye-bye. They're not telling you that because they don't want you to know it. You're going to learn it quick enough. When YouTube spent $1 bajillion to acquire this, I told you, Red Zone, that's going away. The days of that being an ancillary package, there's a reason Andrew Siciliano's not answering these questions because he doesn't know.
Andrew Siciliano's not on it anymore.
He's been on one side of it. There was a Chris Hansen side. Mm-hmm. There was an Andrew Siciliano
side. And they got
side.
rid of Andrews.
And they did, but the thought was that you'd be able to get Chris Hansen's for why would I do that? I'm YouTube. I just procured all these services. Why would I allow you to consume Red Zone for $40, even if it's $40 a month? Why would I do that? Because if that's what you want to do.
But that's not up to YouTube, though.
100% it is. They bought the intellectual property. It came with all of it.
Really?
Yes. That's why it was so expensive, because they went, we now have a corner on the market, and if you want to watch our games, this is where you will come.
Well, and if that's the case, then sorry, I'm going to miss the Red Zone.
And that's the thing. There is no price they could have thrown on this where I would go, out.
There is a price for me, and it's higher than $10.
And Gage Camplin, our YouTube comments with another one of these.
I'm your Huckleberry.
It is that simple. Super chat your comments, and we will, as quickly as humanly possible, get them on the old radio waves here. Dazen has it for $20 a month. Not anymore, they don't. We're not in season, so it's real easy for that to go away. It ain't coming back. And if you do it now, you might be throwing money down a well.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that to be true. I have tried to find verification from
Hadn't found it anywhere, have you?
I have not found any verification.
Have you found
that
anywhere
it's
you
going
can buy
away.
it? Have you found anywhere you can buy it?
Sure, they listed on Hulu Live TV. You can buy it with the Red Zone package, but that's right now. There's nothing that says you'll have to get YouTube TV to get the Red Zone
now, let me
channel,
ask you a question.
any of that.
What idiot is spending $20 a month on Red Zone in April? Because it doesn't exist until September.
No.
If you recall, I told you this was coming because that's probably the most monetary – it's the easiest thing to monetize that they get with this is Red Zone. Why would I allow every other cable entity to have that? Because all you're doing is pirating me. The bidding on this was stupid because every streaming service wanted it. Apple TV wanted it. Paramount Plus wanted it. Well, they won. You know why? Because they paid the most money. Because they're YouTube, and YouTube is taking over the world. DNA Tooth podcast with he didn't super chat this, but I think what he said is worth the.
I'm your huckleberry.
He said you're looking at it from the perspective of a psychopath football fan, a scout, not a regular or cheap consumer.
Indeed.
I'm closer to the regular consumer than he is.
I don't even think that's even kind of true.
Okay. In terms of will I spend $500 a year to have it in on my television? No. Are you not going to find a way to consume these games?
Absolutely.
Trust me, we have a wonderful home base of this show. 41 North Merriman Avenue, Village Park. It's a wonderful place to watch a football game. Guess what? Packed every Sunday. Every Sunday. And so, yeah, you're not paying for the package, but the bar is. And how do you think they're recouping that money? I mean, I'm not breaking news here.
No.
Because if you think it's expensive for you, you ought to see what bars pay to have it. Because it is ridiculous. I've never asked what it costs for the Village Porch, but I've owned 2 of them. I know what it costs. And it is stupid.
You're looking at people on exact opposite sides of this argument. Jeremy's never lived without Sunday tickets.
Because I can't.
In his adult life. I've never had it.
I don't watch, in terms of things I watch on television, I watch the Masters, of which, a funny story coming up about that later in this here hour. I watch the casual college basketball. I watch the NBA playoffs when they get deeper into it. Other than that, the only reason I have a television in my house is for football. Amy put on a movie last night. I was asleep in 7 minutes. The only thing I can tell you is it had Nick Cage in it with a bad hairpiece. That's it. I know nothing else.
Yep.
So am I on the drastic side? No doubt. No doubt I'm on the drastic side. Bob Brown in the YouTube comments asked, when will the NFL do something for their fans? They do it every week. You don't have to have every game. They give you free television every week. And trust me, they don't have to. If the NFL put every game behind a paywall, it would shoot the revenues through the roof because you would continue to do it. If they gave you a poo-poo platter of, for $100 a year, I can have every Bucks game or every Jets game, people would do it in droves. That's the part I don't understand. I do not understand why you haven't found a way to do that.
Why would I do that? Bob Brown said in the comments, he said he had a conversation with an executive at DirecTV and said $150 per season for my team. The guy laughed at him and said, no, screw you. You'll pay for it all.
And that was DirecTV. DirecTV never thought they were going to be challenged for this because they didn't think anybody would pay for it because they've lost subscribers every single year. And so what YouTube did is they looked at the price and they said, we will slash the price, but you're going to have our service. Knowing full well how that's going to go. There will be a slew of fans that have YouTube TV from September the 1st until February the 15th. And then it goes away. They make their money. It makes it all worth it. I don't care that you don't have it from March to August. Doesn't matter. I make my money. And I have absolutely no problem with this. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I think that team thing is coming because YouTube can do it where DirecTV couldn't.
Sure. There is a better platform on streaming for a la carte services. You could even they could even do a package where you could pick what games you wanted every week.
No doubt.
And it'd cost you a certain bundle. I have no problems with this because there are dum-dums like Jeremy out there. They're going to spend whatever it costs to get it.
Don't care. Send me a bill for $2,000 US. Can I pay it in 12-month increments? Because I'll continue to.
On the other side, I think if the Red Zone channel is locked up into all of this, there are going to be a whole lot of pissed off people coming up in September.
And guess what? Those perturbed
we
people
ain't all going to buy YouTube TV. I guarantee it.
You're not. 30% of you will. And that 30% makes their money. Makes it worth it. It's all a numbers game. You can be as mad as you want to be. 65 to 70% of people can go, no, I'm not going to do it. And you know where they'll go? They'll go to bars. They'll go to a friend's house that has it. Whatever the case may be, one way or another, you're going to have, if you're the true football fan, and if you're listening to this show, you are, because this is what we talk about 95% of the time, you're going to find a way to consume this. There's more than one way to skin this chicken.
Absolutely.
And as soon as I saw this, I went, this is brilliant.
Just because I say I will never pay this much for this kind of service doesn't mean I'm going to go without. There are so many options and so many other ways that you can get this. And if you'd like to know more, you can send us a private message. We will let you know how we cheaply get all of these things. I get each and every NFL game every year for a fraction of the price that they want to charge for YouTube TV. And it ain't going away.
And it's perfectly legal.
Just so you know, I still watch, but I ain't spending your money. I ain't spending that kind of money.
No, he spends our money because our television subscription is wrapped up into a business expense.
Well, there is that.
Unless you're the government, I'm not really worried what you think about that.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor. Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating. I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild. If you haven't watched this show yet,
get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount+.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and I'm not going to miss any games. Just not paying so much for them.
Yeah, and you'll find a way.
You'll find
a way, because here's the thing. There's too many people like me that look at the in-stadium experience and just go, ugh. Ugh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with parking. I don't want to deal with.
I don't mind the in-game experience, but that's a once a thing. That's a once a year kind of thing for me.
A family of four, it now costs over $700 for you to go to a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's you could pay for YouTube TV's package twice.
They got a strong product and they know it, and they're going to charge for it. And that, my friends, is what capitalism is all about, and I am all for it.
Now, the Detroit Lions, on the other hand, they had a less than strong product, and they charged less than a premium for it. But we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit.
In just a little bit. There's news with my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons no more. At least not for much longer for one certain player. Devin White has requested a trade from the Bucs, and I cannot say that I blame him at all for this.
Why would you tie yourself to the ship at this point? He's going into a fifth-year option. That I want the deal. I'm not sure you're going to give me the deal because your cap situation is brutal.
I don't want the deal. Not from this team.
I mean, look, you're the Bucs fan, not me.
If I'm Devin White, I want the deal. Obviously, I want as much money as I possibly can and as much long-term security as I can get. I'm not signing up for much more with this team. The way everything is going downhill, Tom Brady having to cut salaries here and there and yon. If you look at the Bucs contract situation right now, you look at the multi-year view. You know how many key players, quote unquote, they have signed past next year?
Not many.
So for the 2025 season,
not many.
It's one key starter. I mean, you're talking Shaq Barrett, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all of the stars, except for Vita Vea, gone or not on the books after this coming year. I would be trying to get out of Tampa Bay like my hair was on fire. And in Devin White's case, like they're coming after my horses.
Well,
I love the kid. I love the personality. I love his play. One, he's not great for this scheme.
Horribly miscast in the scheme.
Right. Todd Bowles, look, if you're going to run a cover 2 defense, you cannot have a linebacker who cannot cover.
Which is crazy that he can't cover as freakishly athletic as he is.
No, he doesn't have the knack for it.
Devin White has gotten a much better name than Devin Bush did with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There have been large amounts of his career where he wasn't any better. Just because he's horribly miscast here. And so now the question falls into what could you get for him? Who could possibly be interested? I've seen several people, Gage Camp and Bob Brown in the YouTube comments, that are screaming for the Philadelphia Eagles. That one makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Gage said send a fifth for White. That's about what you would get.
Really?
I mean, because you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an off-ball linebacker that you're going to have to pay. I'm projecting that the play from 2 years that really pre-Todd Bowles is going to come through. And I'm talking Todd Bowles as the head coach, not just Todd Bowles as the coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're getting much more than that. Now, I think there'd be teams lined up out the building to get him for a 4 or a 5 or somewhere in that neighborhood. And then they would pay him. And in a 4-3 scheme, I think he can be one of the best linebackers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, he is a Maserati that you're parking in front of a single-wide trailer that's had all of the windows shot out.
Yep.
And that's a mixture of the defense and the team and the coaching staff. It's eroding. And I really don't blame him for asking for a trade here. He's a young guy. The narrative around the league is not as positive with him as it once was. I mean, you got to understand, you're in the NFL. There's a reason we say it's not for long. He has another year like he had last year. I don't know that deal's coming.
Right.
This is self-preservation. That's why he's asking for this trade now. Get me, as I'm going into a contract year, get me to a place that I can show I am still that guy so I can get my big chunk of the pie Because as we talked about with wide receivers, you don't see a lot of them that are in their 30s. You don't see a ton of linebackers that are in their 30s either, especially when those guys are in the league because of how freakishly athletic they are.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't tend to age well.
The question becomes, what can you get for him? And, Tampa doesn't want to deal him.
No, but I don't think it's a choice.
And is this going to – here's the thing. Tampa doesn't want to deal him. And I don't believe, knowing what I know of Devin and being like my favorite player on my favorite team, he's not the kind of guy that's going to sit out and be a problem in the locker room.
No.
If he doesn't get the trade, he'll be upset. But to me, is it worth it? Is it worth it to send him away for a 4 or a 5? Best case scenario, maybe you find yourself in a bidding war with 3 teams, and maybe you can get a 3 out of the deal.
I doubt it.
I know that's pushing it, but is it worth it to send him away or and get that draft pick back? Is it
We're
worth
going to
it
get that draft pick 2 years from now,
rather than having him just leave for nothing?
Well, I thought you were talking about,
year.
I thought you were talking about the compensation formula. If you let him walk, you're probably going to get a 4 or a 5 in terms of comp formula. That's if you don't splurge in free agency. You don't have a ton of money. As you stated, next year you've got a bunch of guys that you're going to have to make decisions on. And I just don't see where it's in the budget. And I've said this time and time again. Smart teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Baltimore Ravens, they swoop into these situations and go, yeah, well, here, you take this 5, and we are going to control the contract, and we're going to show for the umpteenth time that in the NFL the salary cap doesn't matter if you do it correctly.
Right.
The problem with Tampa Bay is they haven't done it correctly. Right now, one of your highest-paid players is Tom Brady, who's sitting on a beach somewhere. And that's what happens is when you go all in, you get to this point, and, yeah, there's going to be some collateral damage, and I wager Devin White's probably going to be one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a couple texts around the league of, is there actual legitimate traction here? And what I got back from both people was there are 4 really high-caliber linebackers in this class. When those guys come off the board, if one of these teams that really needs one has missed, don't be shocked if it does get into that 3 territory of – you remember when Trent Williams got traded for the first pick in the 3rd day?
Yep.
It's because San Francisco missed on every offensive tackle that they thought could play a tree in a child's play. So they went, okay, if you'll take this, we'll give him the money.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, and it's worked out phenomenally. That's exactly how this could go here.
Yeah.
You see the Jack Campbells, the Trenton Simpsons, Drew Sanders to a lesser point. You see those guys come off the board, Deion Henley, and then whichever team is left holding their little trick-or-treat bag, and they call Tampa Bay and go, we'll give you a 4, we'll give you a 3. And he winds up in a different place.
Yeah, the other question to me is the money here, and again, it's not a prime position. He doesn't play that need to have, gotta have cornerstone position, and am I going to put $15-17 million into him?
Well, and that's what he's looking at. This is not him being selfish or anything like that. This is him looking at, okay, if I have another season like I had last year, I'm looking at a short-term 2-3-year deal, maybe even a 1-year prove-it deal somewhere else at $10 to $12 million, or I can go to a place that I actually fit in, and I could be looking at a 4 or 5-year deal at 15, 16, 17, some odd $1 million. I mean, any idiot that has self-preservation in their heart is going to look at this and go, it is better for me to get out of here, especially when you factor in that the offense could be putting the defense in worse positions. That means he's going to have to cover more. I really don't see a way that Devin White plays another snap for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
One of the quotes in the story today was that he is, quote, fed up with this team. And I can't blame him.
I can't either, because he's wanting to be taken care of, and they're just not in a position to do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those we part as friends, and I'll come back and celebrate the Super Bowl trophies 20 years from now, and he'll have a really good second act somewhere else.
Yep.
He's a great player. He's just very poorly miscast.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, we'll get just a bit outside, and there is a corner on the move in the NFC. The Atlanta Falcons adding to the defense. We'll tell you about it up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by KFC. $5 Mac Bowls are back. That's right, folks. Kentucky Fried Chicken's $5 Mac and Cheese Bowls have returned. Now featuring new 100% white meat chicken nuggets in KFC's hand-breaded original recipe. Available in classic or spicy. That's finger-licking good.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Have your outdoors and running water too with Luxury Loo, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family owned and local, Luxury Loo Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Loos are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty john.
Ew.
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Loo. Visit LuxuryLoosRental.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
The NBA playoffs are almost here. The play-in games, they start tonight. You got the Hawks tonight in the East taking on the Heat, 7:30 tonight on TNT, and then at 10 o'clock. You got the first Western Conference play-in game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers. Flostradamus Jeremy Green will have your lines and best bets for the night on both of these games coming up at the end of this hour. But I thought with the Hawks starting the play-in game tonight, it was a very weird time for this story to come out. This came from The Ringer. And Kevin O'Connor reporting that the Hawks, this was yesterday, that the Hawks front office, or the ownership of the Hawks, have given the front office the green light to do whatever it takes in the offseason to put together a winner, which includes trading Trae Young, their star point guard, who was supposed to be the savior of the franchise. And, yeah, there was that whole Luka Doncic trade that doesn't look great right now, but Luka hadn't won anything either. So, anyhow, I know there's no question who's the better player between the two of them. But is this not weird timing for a story like this to come out right before the postseason starts?
Not really. I mean, look, this is a year that I would argue several of the teams that made the NBA, that made the play-in tournament, which is stupid. Oh, I can't even say that. It's so stupid. They didn't want to. The Dallas Mavericks adamantly, intentionally missed the play-in tournament to get the ping pong balls to have the shot at Victor Wembanyama or Nick Smith or Brandon Miller or whoever it is you're after.
Well, they were going to lose that pick. They were going to lose the pick in the trade, right?
Who? Dallas?
The Dallas.
Yes. If it was top 10 protected.
Right. It was the top 10 protected pick, and they were like, well, we can either lose the pick or we can not make the play in and keep the pick.
Correct.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, and yet people still have gnashing of teeth.
Well, of course they do.
Well, you have to try to win. No, you don't.
As your favorite football coach once said, you play to win the game.
Except when you don't. The New York Jets could have Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback right now, but we got to win against the Rams.
It felt good, didn't it?
It did feel good. I'm not going to lie. I've said that to at least 6 people that work in that front office. Can't disclose what their responses were. A couple of them were kind of vulgar. It just is what it is.
Don't remind us. The Hawks are turning over a whole new leaf now. They've got Quinn Snyder as their head coach now. They thought bringing in Deontay Murray was going to make a difference in this team, and it was going to help out Trey, but it just didn't happen this year.
No, it just made them more desperate to fire away meaningless threes.
Right. Trey probably is going to be best served in a place where he is the number one, the sole ball handler, and he's fallen into that category for me of guys that'll never win anything.
As well he should. My story is about a club that you may not even know exists. It's the Big Boy Offensive Lineman Club.
Okay.
You ever heard the name Nick Saldiveri?
Sounds familiar.
He's an Old Dominion offensive lineman that we'll hear his name called in the NFL draft a couple weeks from now. He, Peter Skoronski of Northwestern, Jalen Duncan of Maryland, Ola Oluwatimi from Michigan, and Steve Avila. I'm sure you've heard the other names.
Yes.
Yeah, the other names are very high-level prospects. Salivari's one he's creeping up. I think he's a late day 2, early day 3. A lot of teams have had him in the building. Well, he is without a doubt the champion of something when it comes to offensive linemen.
Okay.
It's eating. They went to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Put this on Twitter. Fox Sports picked it up. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet. Who can eat the most? Saldiveri, in one sitting, gained 9.5 pounds.
Jeez.
Skoronski gained 6.7. Jalen Duncan gained 6. Ola Oluwatimi gained 5. Somehow Steve Avila lost weight. I don't know how that's even possible. A day later, he weighed half a pound less, which means he has a metabolism like Tweety Bird.
Or a horrid case of IBS.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those that food goes in the mouth and 10 seconds later he's got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. He's one of those people that you're looking at the dessert menu. He's like, I got to go.
He's like, well, look, I didn't know this was coming. I ate 15 pounds of food 3 days ago, and that's getting ready to come out. So I can't really.
I mean, I can't tell you Salivari's going to be a great lineman in this league. But I can tell you, after his picking up the rookie bill for future years, may God have mercy on the soul of whatever rookie has to pick up his tab.
And if you ever refer to him as anything other than the buffet buster from now on.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
We had a trade made in the NFL as the Atlanta Falcons are picking up a cornerback, and it's Jeff Okudah from the Detroit Lions.
This has more there is more relevancy here than people want to let on.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So I've said this several times in Atlanta Falcon mock draft videos. I felt like they needed another corner. I thought there was a possibility that was going to be either Christian Gonzalez or Joey Porter Jr. in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I now fully don't believe that. I think they're going to try Okudah on the outside, see if they can bring the talent out of him. I mean, look, he hasn't been particularly good, and I think he was being coached by one of the best defensive back coaches in this league and Aaron Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking you're going to get number 3 pick in the draft out of him is probably not going to happen. Can he be a starter in this league? Maybe.
He could be a solid 2.
Which is what he's going to be.
Behind A.J.
He
Terrell.
would be on the other side of A.J. Terrell.
Right.
Casey Hayward's going to play in the slot. And now I'm looking at the secondary going, that's not terrible.
No.
Especially when I think about who the second receivers are on teams in this division. I guess even your Bucks, who have without a doubt the best group of wide receivers. Chris Godwin plays in the slot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Okudah's going to get Russell Gage and Raheem Shaheed and I'm trying to even think of Terrace Marshall. That's 6-year games. So, I mean, I think he can hold up to that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a number 1 corner in this league, but I think this is a formidable pickup.
And in return, the Falcons send a 5th-round pick to Detroit.
Is it insane to think that Atlanta's defense might be better than we think?
I think Atlanta's defense was better than we gave it credit for last year. Now,
it helps when you can run the ball.
Right, but it was
they were the best rushing teams in the league.
Sure. And I'm not saying that it's star laden and all of that, but they've got some solid players on this team.
No doubt. And Joseph Osteen, I hope I said that correctly, said $10 million in cap space and a 5th-round pick. Brad Holmes is a genius. I agree with you. He was the odd man out in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had them taking Devin Witherspoon at 18 for a long time because I didn't think they had necessarily the one. What this tells me is that's probably less likely. They're looking at this group going, we're good. We're good. He's the odd man out. We're going to get a pick back for him right here, erase a mistake. He gets – and there's another level of this, of you're doing what's right by the kid. And trust me, players and agents in this league see that. As opposed to letting him wallow on the bench as a 4th corner, yeah, you did what was best for you because you went and got the talent, but you also did what was best for him. And, I mean, you can vouch for this. What little I know of Brad Holmes and through friends of friends, he is very highly thought of in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason. It's because he does things like this. And I think this is one of those rare win-win situations for both teams. Atlanta gets a lottery ticket. It keeps them from having to take that corner at 8, which opens them up to whether it's Skoronski, Quentin Johnston, whoever it is you want to take at 8. You can now do it.
Edge rusher.
Edge rusher is what I want. I really don't think there's one there
No,
that's going to be there.
If Tyree fell, which is probably not going to happen, or if Lucas Van Ness is there at 8.
Lucas Van Ness will be there. I'm just not 100% sure you're taking that high. I'm not averse to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see where you have him in your top 25 when we talk about this.
Oh, he's on it. He's on the list. No, I really do think that, Atlanta was that scrappy team that you just didn't want to play. They weren't a pushover. They were going to give you a fight each and every week. And that's kind of Arthur Smith football. Well, that's how Arthur Smith runs his team, and I think they've done a good job of building this team up. They're a couple of drafts away from being really good.
I would agree with that.
I mean, you got to have a quarterback.
I think this team's getting the right direction anyway. Not cousin Colin Green, who's a Saints fan, and that does have to be said here, said prisoner of the moment. I don't think it's so much that. I think Atlanta is they're looking at the NFC going, the NFC is attainable right now because there's only a handful of really good teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can make the playoffs, get this young roster, even if we're the 7 and we go in and get annihilated by the Detroit Lions or the New Orleans Saints or whoever, I can't even wrap my head around who is San Francisco, I guess?
Yeah.
With Trey Lance's hairline that starts at the back of his skull. If you haven't seen that picture, Trey, buddy, it's time to tap out on that because it's tapped out on you.
It's time to go shave head.
Yeah, it's time to go full Mr. Clean. It's a bad look. I saw this move, and I feel like Atlanta keeps doing this. They just keep hitting solid doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that I'm looking at going, well, that was the acquisition of the offseason? No, but you get the lottery ticket here. You get the veteran presence in Calais Campbell. I don't have any idea what to think about your Buccaneers. I don't have a lot of idea what to think about the Carolina Panthers. And as I said yesterday, I think the New Orleans Saints, if something happened to Derek Carr, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Am I looking for that to happen? No. But what if it does?
You're in the same boat you were last year.
Exactly. And then I hate to tell you this, but Atlanta's the best team in this division.
Absolutely.
And that's
even without a quarterback. Although,
and if you look at what they're doing, I feel like they're mitigating the risk of not having a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're going to be able to run well. They did it last year. You're cranking up the defense. You're throwing talent into the room. I feel like there's a merit to that.
I do think Carolina has a bigger spot in this conversation of NFC South risers.
They do, but they also have a rookie quarterback.
Of course.
Trevor Lawrence came in, who is one of the highest rated prospects I've ever had, and struggled as a rookie.
I'm not saying they're a guaranteed playoff team or they're going to get 10 wins in the first season. I'm just saying they're going to be a player.
And I wasn't trying to poo-poo them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you from what I'm looking at with Atlanta, you have done a good job of filling holes, not overpaying anybody, increasing the talent base on this team. You hit several developmental players, I thought, last year with Ebiketie, Troy Anderson. And I'm watching Arthur Smith play the long game. And I think there's a great merit to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is one of the rare trades I'm looking at going, I think this is an A for both teams.
You look at that Atlanta Falcons secondary now with A.J. Terrell and Jeff Okudah and Casey Hayward and Jesse Bates. That's a pretty stout group.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of their best signings in the offseason was Caden Ellis. I think him as a situational pass rusher is going to be a big hit with Arnold Ebiketie coming into his own in the second year. I do like this Atlanta defense, and I think they just got better.
Kevin Vick in our YouTube comment said, Atlanta, the best team in the division. I didn't know y'all turned into a comedy show. Okay, I'll say this about the NFC South. Then we got to take a break. The only team I know definitively is not winning it is Tank's Baker Mayfield led fire them cannons, by golly, but more better.
Let Baker bake.
Yeah, he's going to bake a poop cake.
All right, Tank's top 25 and their perfect fits in the 2023 NFL Draft coming up next.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Imagine transforming your outdoor space into a stylish and functional area for relaxation and entertainment. Imagine superior durability and longevity, ensuring that your investment lasts for years to come. Imagine whatever you'd like. Decorators Composite Decking, Railing, Balusters, and Accessories can help you create a deck that reflects your personal style and provides an inviting space for you and your loved ones to gather. Make your vision a reality. To learn more, visit decorators.com. That's decorators with a K.
Dr. Rick here, with another telltale sign you're turning into your parents, getting particular about your drive-thru order.
Don't pull away yet. I like to check the bag because one time they forgot to give me extra ketchup.
People are waiting.
I'm only seeing 4 nuggets. Wait, nope, there's 5.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's the start of the playoffs in the NBA, and if you haven't heard me say this before, now's the perfect time. Wager these games, don't watch them. We're 2 rounds away from a series that isn't going to be an absolute assault on your eyeballs, but that doesn't mean it can't be profitable. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The Miami Heat are a 5-point favorite tonight against the Atlanta Hawks, over under 228. I'll start with the easier side of this. Not that either is all that difficult in my opinion. A 228 total in a game featuring the Miami Heat is absolutely ridiculous. I've said this before. Miami tends to ugly up games and turn them into slugfest no matter who they play. Now, the thought is that Atlanta can't defend a desk lamp and they fire at will from 3, and that's pushed the number up. This is the playoffs, kinda. The Heat are second in paint points per game allowed and 4th in defensive wide-open three-point attempt rate. The Hawks run a ton of pick and roll, but most of it's through Trae Young, and the Heat are the 8th best team in the NBA at defending that. In their 4 regular season meetings, Trae Young only shot 35% from the field and just over 20% from 3. And that's because Eric Spoelstra is a mastermind defensively and has an athletic freak in Bam Adebayo to play out on the switch. I'm not saying the Hawks aren't going to break 90, but to think they're going to score in the high 110s tonight is a fool's errand. Also, since the beginning of last season, the Heat and Hawks are 4-9 over-under, and many of those games haven't been close to this number. Now, for who wins, I'm not sure Atlanta could have found a worse matchup than the Heat. It's been a disappointing season for Miami, but they really don't belong here. They're a victim of the bad net schedule. I don't love giving this many points, but Atlanta lives by the 3, and in this case dies by it. Give me Miami -5, under the 228, and the Heat move on to play the Celtics. Minnesota's an 8.5-point dog tonight at the Los Angeles Lakers, over-unders 233. Yes, I saw the Rudy Gobert-Kyle Anderson fight, and I know they lost Jaden McDaniels to a broken hand. I'm not telling you the Timberwolves team is full of rocket surgeons, but the public narrative has pushed this number to a really stupid place. The Lakers are vastly improved since the trade deadline, but they are currently the 7th most likely team in Vegas to win the title, and that is stupid. Vegas loves to play this little game with popular teams, whether it's the Lakers, Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots. The Lakers have been dog water since that asterisk title in the bubble, and yes, this is the best they've looked since, but someone really watching the games will tell you that this team is not nearly as good as the public is hyping them up to be. This sets up to be an absolute track meet, and while 233 is really high, I'm all right with it. Give me Minnesota +8.5, the Lakers to win outright, and over the 233. And just let me say, these play-in games are stupid. The playoffs are a reward for teams that give it their all in the regular season, not a Jackson Pollock of dirty diapers to see which one smells the least. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy, and as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned, doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert in street clothes for tonight's play-in matchup against the Lakers. Minnesota suspended him for a game for punching a teammate on Sunday. There are two players not named, LeBron James or Anthony Davis, who will play a crucial role for an LA team that's an 8.5-point favorite tonight, believes ESPN's Tim Bontemps.
They need D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley to hit shots. If those guys go 10 for 18, which they're capable of doing, I think it's going to be very hard for the Lakers to lose this game. On the other hand, if they go 2 for 18, which they're also very capable of doing, that opens the door for Minnesota to sneak this, even with their injuries.
Tim Bontemps on Fitz and Harry. You heard Tim mention it. T-Wolves also missing the injured Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid. Tonight's winner is the West's 7th seed and plays Memphis in the first round of the playoffs. The loser will have the chance to play for the 8th seed. Heat and Hawks meet in tonight's other play-in game. The winner is 7th in the East and plays Boston in round 1. The loser will play for the 8th seed. NFL, Detroit traded cornerback Jeff Okudah to Atlanta for a 5th-round pick in the upcoming draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. That's fun. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Can't get us on the terrestrial signal? A little out of your range? Guess what? The iHeart Radio app is right there, and you can get us everywhere you go around the world. You can also see us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We're trying a new thing on the show today where Jeremy usually gives you his top draft prospects, and it has all the merits in the world because he's the draft nerd and he's watched all the tape and all of that.
But we treat, as I said in the first hour, we treat Tank like he's at the DMV and his number's way higher than everybody else's. So it doesn't matter. That's not true. There's much merit to his analysis too, and this would be a good time to point out that tomorrow, boys and girls, is a live first-round mock draft. It's the last one of all the teams. We'll have team by teams on the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. This is the last full mock draft first round before April 27th.
That's right. Draft day, we will have the final mock draft, the one that Jeremy puts into the media contest each and every year.
And I'm going to win it. This year, I'm going to win it.
What's the closest you ever came?
7th.
Okay.
That was the Mac Jones year. That was why I was so angry about that, because if I'd stuck to my guns, I'd have won it. And this year, I'm gonna.
Very good. So I'm going to give you my top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. We're going to chit-chat about the prospects. Jeremy can school me on whether I'm too low on a certain guy and why, or if I got a guy way too high, which I'm sure there's one on this list because you know me, I am no homer Tank Spencer.
Without knowing the list, there are a couple in my head that I feel like you're going to have too high.
I can't help myself in some scenarios, but we'll go through it, and Jeremy will give us the perfect landing spot for each one of the top prospects. Now, we're going to start at number one because there's no secrecy as to who is my number one and who should be number one on every draft board, in my opinion.
This is the only one that I definitively knew because he said it to me about 143 times.
Right. It's Darnell Washington. No, I mean, no, of course not. It is the one and the only, the edge rusher out of Alabama. It is Will Anderson. To me, he's got the total package. He's got all of the tools to be a great edge rusher in this league. A primo position. The only thing that I can knock him for was the inconsistency in the mental game.
Well, there were penalties. There were penalties, and, you know, I don't feel like he's the no-doubt slam dunk that everybody else does because I don't view him the way I viewed, say, Khalil Mack when he came out. I said, I do not care where Khalil Mack goes. He is going to be an impact pass rusher immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the difference. I know Will Anderson can hold up against the run. I didn't know that about Khalil Mack. I had a fear that, okay, worst-case scenario, he comes in and he is a terrifying edge rusher that never becomes the consistent three-down threat. I know. I don't care what system you play. Will Anderson's going to hold up against the run. So that makes him more of a complete prospect. I'm not sure if he has the high side. Now, you have
I'm your huckleberry.
One of these that I feel like needs to be discussed.
Gage Camplin super chatted on the YouTube stream. Jeremy, what's your take on Chris Sims having Will Anderson ranked as the 5th edge rusher? Do you put any merit into Sims' opinion?
No, I don't. Because I feel like the only way you could say that is if you were looking for clicks. And Chris Sims does this every single year. And then he takes a victory lap when he's right about not liking Zach Wilson as much as others. Okay. You also miss guys that are absolute slam dunks because you try to do that. Look, Chris Sims is a smart guy. I take his – when it comes to quarterbacks, I'm not going to say what he says is gospel to me. When he gets into other things, I think he tries to get cute. And for me, I don't put anything into it. I think it's completely stupid because the high-end tape with Will Anderson is better than anybody else in this class except one for me because he's my 2.
He's your 2.
He's my 2.
Okay.
I am curious to see where you have my 1 because he does not play the most, let's say, valuable position. Now, in terms of fit for Will Anderson, who do I think is the for me, it's the Seattle Seahawks. I think that's where he fits the best because he comes in with Jamal Adams and other players. I feel like that defense for Seattle is getting to that point that it's almost, not quite, but it's almost done. And I just want to see I want to see the high-level pass rusher. And that's why I think I'm so high on him going to Seattle because I think he's the piece that rounds all of that off. I don't want him to be the only pass rusher on a team like he would be with, say, the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Arizona trade down and get the best player on the board at, say, 11 or wherever you could fall down, even if they have to go all the way down to 22 with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't want to see that happen to Will Anderson, and I think that's what Chris Sims is trying to say. He's just saying it in a way that I find to be really, really stupid.
I think it's ridiculous to say that he's not even the best at his position when we've all believed, or most of us have believed, that he is the number 1 guy in the draft for a while.
Oh, and by the way, Sloan Jordan corrected me here. He had Zach Wilson as QB1 over Trevor Lawrence. So, yeah, I had pushed that out of my brain.
Every year we do this. Every year
he
there's
says
always
something insane.
Right.
And we fall for it and we talk about it. I don't know if it's for clicks or if he's just trying to be different. I really don't know. But if you don't see the high-end upside with Will Anderson, I just really can't help you.
Yeah, Will Anderson is the number one on my top 25. Perfect fit, the Seattle Seahawks.
And now what I'm really curious of is who is your number 2?
Coming in at number 2 on my top 25 for this 2023 NFL Draft, it's the running back out of Texas, Bijan Robinson.
Oh.
He is as pro-ready as a running back as we've seen since Saquon Barkley.
I agree.
Immediate impact player, regardless of the team that he goes to, the scheme that he gets put in. I believe that he can do it all.
I do too. He is my number 1 player in this draft, and it's pretty safely my number 1 player in this draft. I mean, look, he can just do everything. He is the definition of a 3-down back. He's an amazing pass catcher, really good between the tackles. He is Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's how high end of a talent that this actually is.
Mm-hmm.
What I can't quite put my finger on is where exactly is he going to go? Because we have devalued running backs to such a point. So many of them that have been taken either in the first round or within the first 50 picks have been, well, I don't want to say disasters, but you're looking at a running back whose career trajectory is, 7 years at best?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking that over, let's go Broderick Jones, who as an offensive tackle, you can play in this league for 15 years if I get this right.
Right.
So I'm looking for a team that needs a running back right now that I feel like would really lean on that running back. So for me, his best fit is not the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a team I put him with a bunch of times. That's not his best fit to me.
Okay.
His best fit is with the Los Angeles Chargers.
He becomes the between the tackles runner for Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, I don't believe
because it
is going
takes so many
anywhere.
of those things away. Look, I've talked about this before. I'm not as wild about this receiver class. I think it's really deep. I just don't necessarily, outside of one, there's not really one that I'm going to take in the top 15. And then it gets into a bunch of guys that, depending on the fit, I really like. There's one player, and I don't think this means Austin Eckler has to go away.
Mm-mm.
I think you've got one more year of him. You play him in that slot gadget role. You play these two guys together. A year from now, he's your bell cow, no doubt, number 1 running back. And it mitigates a problem that no one player is going to mitigate. The Chargers have a lack of speed on that offense. All right, Mike Williams is fast for his size. Keenan Allen is more quick than fast. Josh Palmer is not crazy high-end fast. When I've got a running back like Bijan Robinson, there's an extra player in the box, period. Because if there's not, I'm going to run it down your throat. I think it mitigates that for everybody, where Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison or just one weapon doesn't really do that. My ideal fit for the Chargers, they take Bijan Robinson at 21, and then they take whichever tight end prospect is left when they come in the second round.
I get that's your perfect fit, but I find that highly unlikely because I feel like as it comes down to the
nitty-gritty,
to the 9th, 10th, 11th pick, somewhere in there, there's going to be a feeding frenzy. There's going to be maybe nobody on the board right there. Obviously, Philadelphia at the 10 spot is the more expected landing spot for him.
It's a spot that makes sense.
But if they back off and they go Joey Porter, they go a different route, then I think that's where we start seeing trades happen. Because I believe that he is that good of a prospect.
And here's where I struggle. I struggle to believe until you get into that, probably from 15 down, I struggle to believe that you're going to see a team trade up for a running back. Giving up extra capital, unless it's a 4, which is, I had Philadelphia reshifting the decks where they gave up a 2. That team doesn't need that much. I just don't know. I've heard a lot of people say the Buffalo Bills should do this. All right, that will mean in the last 5 years they've taken 4 running backs from the 4th round up.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've given up whatever the capital was to go up here and get him. It hurts some of the value. I'm not sure that's going to happen. What I would say is if that's what you're trying to do, and you think where the trade up becomes interesting to me is Green Bay at 15, the Washington Commanders at 16 if there's not a corner there, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is the most miscast team in this draft because I think every player that would really fit with them is not going to be there at 17. And then they get into that second-tier prospects, and, okay, I can move back and get 2 of those plus an extra pick. That's why I had him trading with Philadelphia in the last one. Because I could see Philadelphia going, all right, he's on the board 17. We could make a move, and it wouldn't be the worst decision we've ever made.
Right. At number 3 on the top 25, this starts the guys that are going to go at the top of the draft.
Oh, so we have a quarterback at number 3 is what you're
We've got a quarterback coming up at number 3, and we got another quarterback shortly behind them. Who's the number 1 quarterback on Tank's top 25? We'll give it to you up next right here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, heavy delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Smoky Park Highway north and southbound near Sand Hill Road, a few light backups. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is your choice of bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes for just $3. Break your morning routine and get your $3 breakfast deal today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. By you. Donate at V.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Williams.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some family fun there, eh, Cot?
And welcome back into the Tank Top 25. Yeah, the top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. I get to do my top ranking.
Yeah, we know that sounds weird because usually it's my top 25. But this was just a different take on it with the live mock draft coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right here in this block tomorrow. And that will be the last first-round mock draft before Draftmas Day itself, April 27th.
Number 1 on my board, Will Anderson. Number 2, Bijan Robinson. And at number 3, we'll go ahead and ring the bell for Gage Camplin. He got it right, Bryce Young. He is the top quarterback in this class. Now, I have said before, and I still maintain, that I do not think the difference between him and C.J. Stroud is that different. But
I think there is a decent difference there.
To me, it's size. To me, the size and maybe the decision-making is better for Bryce Young than it is for C.J. Stroud, and obviously C.J. had more weapons to work with at Ohio State than Bryce Young did at Alabama, especially this past year. But I believe Bryce Young is the number 1 quarterback in this draft. When the Carolina Panthers made the move up to number 1, I wanted to believe that it was for Bryce Young. But everybody got hot on C.J. Stroud. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that is the safer of the two because of the size difference. But now it's come out that there's no, the Carolina Panthers don't care about the size issue. And
Frank Reich has worked with smaller quarterbacks in the past, blah, 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 blah.
And so
none
Bryce
of that
Young
matters to me.
Bryce Young is the best prospect at quarterback in this draft.
Name me one reason other than size that you would have Bryce Young ahead, or that you'd have C.J. Stroud ahead of Bryce Young. There's not one.
Yep.
I have said this time and time and time again, and that is why my best draft fit for Bryce Young is with the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. Has nothing to do with what Frank Reich has done. Has nothing to do with any of that. Josh McCown, I don't care about any of that. I have seen Bryce Young succeed at a high level, the highest level of college football, without premier weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen C.J. Stroud do that.
His best
and
receiver.
I hate to tell you this, Carolina, I know you like DJ Chark, you like Adam Thielen, and it makes me feel all hunky-dunky. There ain't an elite receiver in the bunch.
Mm-mm.
Your receiving core looks a lot like my dating record before I met my wife. It's a whole mess of threes. That's fine. Bryce Young, I think, can come in and be hyper-competitive right away. I'll be honest with you. I said this in the first hour. Wouldn't shock me if Carolina won the division with Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I think Atlanta and New Orleans and Atlanta have a shot. There is a path to them winning the division. I don't see it with Tampa Bay because I have a funny feeling your team's about to be torn down like an old building.
Yep.
Bryce Young's the best fit with Carolina Panthers. I don't think it's really all that close.
It's another good one from Sloan Jordan in the YouTube comments. If you switch the bodies, Young's going number 1 to the Bears. Stroud might barely be a first-round pick. Enough said.
I cannot go that far.
It's a little bit of a stretch on the C.J. Stroud side, but I don't think it's a stretch at all on the Bryce Young side.
I don't either.
The Chicago Bears would have laughed everybody out of the building off the phone when they called to say, we want the number 1 pick. No, you can't have it. Bryce Young is mine. Well, you can have Justin Fields.
And the thing that I will admit that I think the Chicago Bears fans that consume our content, I think more of them are more realistic than I thought they would be. If Chicago saw a no-doubter here, they also knew their offensive line is not as good as you would want it. And behind a bad line, you could get Bryce Young killed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Carolina has a bad line. And for me, he is the no-doubt selection at 1.
Yep.
And Adam Schefter's on it, Chris Mortensen is on it, and I'm on it. And I'm not trying to put myself up there with 2 of them. I'm just saying I only know one person that told you Trayvon Walker was going number 1 last year. And I made a whole bunch of you a whole slew of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think that goes. So is Bryce Young goes to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. It's the best play for Carolina. And I do think it makes them a contender almost immediately in the division, depending on how the weapons go. But I think you're going to have great success with Bryce Young.
Wah.
That brings me to number 4.
Did you do the lazy thing?
C.J. Stroud.
Of course you did.
It's C.J. Stroud.
I had already typed that out before you even said it.
I have, like I said, when we started this scenario, I didn't feel like there was a major difference between the two. I get that there are differences, and I have Bryce Young ahead of him. But C.J. Stroud, to me, I think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league. And any team willing to take him at 2 or 3 or 4 is going to be just fine doing it.
I do feel like there is a difference between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. And C.J. Stroud's the one that I feel like could bite you in the old tuchus. Because I want you to think about what he has had to throw to at Ohio State.
It's been unbelievable.
Number 1 receiver in next year's class. Top 2 receivers in last year's class. And depending on who you talk to, number 1 receiver in this class.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole lot of high-level talent. And that's USC syndrome. You remember when you couldn't pick a USC quarterback without them being just an immaculate bust?
Yep.
It's because you couldn't see their flaws because they had the best receivers on the field, on every field they played on. And some of what I see out of C.J. Stroud makes me nervous that some of those things are going to rear their ugly head in the NFL. Now, am I telling you I don't like him as a prospect? No, I'm not saying that at all. I am in no way saying that. I think he's a good prospect. I think he fits into a very specific role. And that's why his best fit for me is not with the Houston Texans. It's not with the Indianapolis Colts. It's with the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
I told you yesterday, and now this is not me projecting where they're going to go. This is if you're going to hit the high side of what your career trajectory is, where can you do that the best?
I want to put you behind a good offensive line and give you a killer weapon.
I could argue it's the best offensive line in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You have a phenomenal safety blanket in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have the deep threat in Jamison Williams. And I don't need you to come in and play right away. I want you to, and now this is a lazy comparison because yes, they went to the same school. How bad did Justin Fields look as a rookie?
Horrible.
Is it absolutely just blasphemous to say that C.J. Stroud could have some of the same problems?
No, not at all.
I've been the loudest Justin Fields detractor on the planet. I can even admit that he took steps forward last year. But he was ugly in year 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to go down the rabbit hole here with the Houston Texans. You're behind a line that has a couple pieces in place. You don't have a number 1 receiver. You're not going to have a number 1 receiver, even if you take Quentin Johnston at 12 or Jackson Smith and Jigba or whatever you want to do. That's still not a 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these pieces in place that are or he goes to the Colts. Yeah, I think you have a number 1. I could argue you do not have a 2. You've got 2, I'm going to say, incomplete tight ends. The only positive I have for you is that your defense is, I think, going to be better and you run the ball well. That doesn't give C.J. Stroud the best chance to succeed. I would argue I'm not sure his best case scenario is that Houston doesn't just tap and say, we're not doing a quarterback. We're going to roll with Davis Mills next year. No, we'll be bad. Play the long game the way the Atlanta Falcons have done. That's his best case scenario. Can I tell you definitively it's what's going to happen? No, but I've said this before. There's not a lot of talk about C.J. Stroud with the Texans.
No.
And that is, I will say, slightly bizarre to me.
At number 5.
Let me see if I can guess here.
Okay.
I'm dumbfounded you have not gotten a specific Georgia Bulldog into your because even with the personality red flags, it's got to be Jalen Carter.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. I was starting to think you had been abducted by space aliens.
No, Jalen Carter does not come out of the top 5. I get the character red flags on him. You got some questions, but the talent is undeniable. The guy can get really good pressure up the middle. I get that it didn't show up in the sack category in his stats, but I don't really care about that.
You should care about that to a point.
And this is a scenario where I would care about it if you were from a lesser team. If he had gone anyway, if he had been the star defensive tackle at, I'll use that's a bad scenario. I'll just use let's use Texas Tech because I think Jeremy and I were talking about this earlier before the show started. If he was at Texas Tech and he didn't have sack numbers, and this is if you switched Tyree Wilson to Georgia and you put
Jalen
Carter, thank you. I keep wanting to call him Jordan Davis, and that was last year. You put him
very
on that,
different player.
Yeah, you put him on that Texas Tech team. He has to have stats. He was on a talent-laden defense that didn't give him as many opportunities, I think, at picking up stats that you would have at a less talented school.
My biggest fear with Jalen Carter is he's going to be asked to do too much. And if he's asked to do too much, I'm not sure if you give him too much too quickly, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I told you about the personality red flags about Jalen Carter well before any of these other things came out. Any of the stories about the weird answers at the combine or anything like that. I said there are some unsettling things about him to me, which is why his best fit for me is beyond a shadow of a doubt with the Philadelphia Eagles at 10. You give me Nakobe Dean, you give me Jordan Davis, who he played with at Georgia. I just feel like that gives him guys that he's comfortable with, and also gives him somebody to lean on. I'm always scared when you give guys that didn't. I mean, and now with NIL, yes, they're making some kind of money. But when you made bad decisions like this with no money, what do you think you're going to do when I give you $8 million? Philadelphia, I've got guys around him that I know him and can look. And it's not even so much look after him. It's just I've got friends here that can show me the ropes. And you got Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis that are both consummate professionals from everything I've been told. Plus that defense is that good. You got Fletcher Cox for him to learn from for a year, and then he's the ultimate replacement to Fletcher Cox. That is the best case scenario for him to me, and I don't even think it's all that close. Seattle, I don't mind it. I just think it's too high. I don't have to take him at 5, and I think Will Anderson's going to be on the board because I fully believe 4 quarterbacks go in the top 4. And his floor, I said it yesterday, is Philadelphia at 10. And that's his best case scenario.
Alex S. in the comments wants to know, is Jalen Carter comparable to Fletcher Cox?
In terms of what their careers could be? Yeah. In terms of as a prospect, Jalen Carter's a better prospect than Fletcher Cox was coming out of Mississippi State. But if you told me that was what his career looked like, I don't think anybody's going to be upset by it.
No, absolutely not.
And in terms of prospect, I mean, I think they do similar things. It's just there are huge red flags with him personality-wise that terrify me to a certain point.
All right, we're rolling through Tank's top 25 of the 2023 NFL Draft prospects. We're through 5. Will Anderson 1, Bijan Robinson 2. Then it was Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. Somebody had asked in the comments who were 3 and 4. It was the quarterbacks, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, at number 5. We'll roll on with the top 25 and the best fits for them here in the Sportsocracy next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound in Haywood County, crawling between NC 209 and US 276. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road, expect delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road moving well. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by GetRefunds.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. If you own a business and still haven't applied for the payroll tax refund, we want to pay a licensed tax attorney to see if you're eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better," unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Rolling through my top 25 of the 2023 NFL Draft prospects. Just a reminder, we will cover each and every pick of the draft live on YouTube. Look for that coming in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we've got team-by-team mock drafts. They're going to continue going out on the YouTube channel. We will still have team needs leading up to the draft here on the live show as well. All your Draftmas coverage right here in the Sportsocracy. At number 6 on my big board for this draft, it's Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Something about this kid just he pops off the page to me when I watch Northwestern football. I mean, he has, and I think you are the guy that does all the X's and O's stuff and the technique and all of that. This kid might have one of the best kicks that I've seen out of a prospect in several years. I mean, just the way he's able to get out there and seal off that defender.
He is freakishly athletic. He has borderline flawless technique. The only thing that anybody ever says about him is, well, his arms are short. Okay, and
it doesn't look good on a biometrics graph.
The NFL is getting smaller, faster, and twitchier every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get. I missed on Rashawn Slater, and I said when that happened, I said I will never miss on one of these guys again because their arms are too short.
Yeah, the only reason the arm length matters to me is if you're not able to get your frame in front of the defender,
and he is,
and he can.
He is. He does. And I'll be honest with you, I think somebody's going to get a tremendous value out of him, and his best fit is with the Houston Texans. I know I've had a receiver to them forever. They've got a slew of receivers. They seem to think one of them is going to be one. I'm not real sure who that is. But you add Skoronski. He comes in as the right tackle to start. And now whoever my quarterback is, between Laramie Tunsil and Peter Skoronski, I know they're protected. You're not going to fail because you get hit too often.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a high-level merit to that. I don't think he fits with Chicago as as well as another player that you're going to have coming at some point. But I love this kid. I mean, the only knock on him literally is that his arms are too short. Well, okay. I'm tired of arguing about it. And when this kid's on the all-rookie team, don't be shocked when I sit here and go, I tried to tell you.
I can see putting him on the other side of Laramie Tunsil, but I also believe in any other scenario, any other team will be happy to take him as their left tackle.
Somebody's going to take him. And I don't know if he starts as a left tackle, just because there's a reason people hammer on that. It does matter. It just doesn't matter as much as they make it sound like it matters. Mm-hmm. And I like how you said that with the technique is so good with him that's why I don't worry.
Yeah.
It's how I should have felt about Rashawn Slater. I didn't, and I got burned, and I'm not going to get burned again.
All right, you called me lazy on the quarterbacks, and I guess if this is lazy, then I'll do it again.
I called it I said lazy. I really meant a cop-out.
Then I'll do it again here with the tackles, because my number 7 is Paris Johnson Jr., the tackle from Ohio State.
He's just so malleable. I mean, I've seen him play guard. I've seen him play tackle. And then when I watched his workout, that's when I really went, okay. It's not that I just crazy sent him up the board, but I feel like I did the same thing that NFL teams did of, okay, he's in a better spot right now than I thought. And that pushed him up to – he's close. Skoronski's my number 1 offensive lineman because I really don't care where he falls in. Paris Johnson, I want him to go to a specific type of team. And the one that I can't get away from is the Chicago Bears. I think he would be a perfect fit for them at 9. And if that's what you do, you get the extra first-round pick a year from now with Carolina. You get DJ Moore. I feel like, and I hate to say this way because I've said it so many times, I feel like you've taken away all of there's no more excuses for Justin Fields. Now, I like Braxton Jones on the left side, so I don't think he has to come in there. I think he would play on the right. You slide Tevin Jenkins inside, and now you just have a really good run blocking team that with Khalil Herbert, you're going to be able to run the ball. You got the weapons to keep the guys out of the box, and now you can just really see what it is that you have with Paris Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Soaring Eagle said John Mechie's going to be good. I'm not doubting any of these guys are going to be good at receiver. My problem is I don't think you have a 1.
So what was
that was going back to
Yep.
Houston.
So what was the perfect fit?
The Chicago Bears
for Paris Johnson. The
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. Okay, and he can be whatever they need him to be.
I mean, he can come in and play guard if you want him to. It's just where does he slot in to begin with? Ultimately, I believe he ends up on the left side. Just depends on the team.
Mm-hmm. Number 8, my top 25 is a tight end, and it's Michael Mayer.
As well it should be.
I'm not swayed by the Dalton Kincaid talk. I've watched the Dalton Kincaid tape because, I didn't really watch a whole lot of him in college, but I still believe that Michael Mayer is he is the all-around guy to have in this draft.
We have a player like this every single year that time passes and you've seen them be good for so long that the fact they never jump off the page or they don't go to the underwear Olympics and blow your mind pushes them down.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton last year.
Yep.
He goes to the underwear Olympics, doesn't run quite as fast as you wanted him to, and now all of a sudden people forget. Did the tape just die? Like did the tape just disappear? Michael Mayer's been the best tight end in college football for 2 solid years. None of that has I don't even think it's debatable. And every one of these other tight ends, and look, I like several of them.
Best overall college player?
He's been the best tight end in college football.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And yes, I'm including Brock Bowers in that because he plays an all-around tight end in a way that Brock Bowers doesn't. Brock Bowers is the best receiving tight end I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a matchup nightmare and all those other things. He's not an all-around player the way Michael Mayer is. And that's why my best fit for him is with the Green Bay Packers. I know Packer fans hate that. Trust me, I've heard you. I see you. You pop up on the YouTube stream. I got it. You don't love it. Let me explain. You have 3 young receivers. As of right now, their 1, 2, and 3 would be Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Samori Toure. You lost Robert Tonyan. Mercedes Lewis is probably going to end up with either the Jets or the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a tight end that can block at all. And if they can block, they can't catch. Michael Mayer can do both. This is the safety blanket for Jordan Love that gives you, much like I've said about Chicago, you see what the kid can do. And that's what Michael Mayer provides you. I mean, people call him Baby Gronk for a reason. Because he is big. He's more athletic. He's not necessarily straight line fast. I said this to you when he ran slow at the combine. How many times am I going to say, hey, Mike, run a 50-yard 9 route?
Right.
That's not what I'm asking you to do.
No, I'm gonna ask you to get open in the middle of the field so I can pick apart that defense.
And I love the kid. I know he's going to fall. I have been told Dalton Kincaid has passed him on boards, which is so funny to me. It's so stupid. It's not even that I don't like Dalton Kincaid. It's just watch the tape on these two and tell me that with a straight face. Because it makes 0 sense.
You won't be hearing that other name for a while in my top 25 as we roll on here.
I didn't
in
doubt
the
that because
Sportsocracy.
you poo-poo him quite often.
Again, it's not that I poo-poo him. It's just that I look at when I see him, I don't see a superstar. See a really good player, not so sure I see a all-pro type tight end.
Well, I mean, and that's
which
the thing.
I think Michael Mayer can be eventually the best tight end in this game for a couple of years.
I agree with that.
I mean, there will be a point where George Kittle and Travis Kelce and these guys are getting older and they will go by the wayside.
His floor is T.J. Hawkinson. Would you sign up for that right now?
Absolutely.
You wanted to say bad words.
I did.
Yeah, you almost did.
I did.
Yeah.
That's probably the closest I've come in the 3 years that we've done this to saying a wordy dirt here on the FCC airwaves. So we will strive for better. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll roll on with Tank's top 25 of the 2023 NFL Draft. Which prospects deserve top picks and where is their best fit? Courtesy of @ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Green.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays near the French Broad River. 40 westbound is crawling between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Merriman Avenue northbound in North Asheville near Edgewood Road, some delays. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slowing. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road, delays. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by GetRefunds.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. If you own a business and still haven't applied for the payroll tax refund, we want to pay a licensed tax attorney to see if you're eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nuggets, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It pays to be a pro at Lowe's. Right now, save big on DeWalt power tools, accessories, and more. Plus, find big savings on job-lot quantities when buying in bulk because Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, minimum purchase required. Selection varies by location. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. Follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Check out the YouTube stream for all of our draft miss coverage, team-by-team mock drafts, and the like over the coming weeks. We're rolling through my top 25 of the 2023 NFL Draft prospects. We come up to number 9, and as one of the greatest rappers of all time once said,
if you say Busta Rhymes, I swear I'm going to punch you in the face.
No, much better. Much better than Busta Rhymes. It's the great MC Hammer. It's Homer time. Number 9. It's, 6'2", 238 pounds, an absolute athletic freak. And you know what? I got to say, I like the glasses. I dig the glasses on this kid. Nolan Smith. He was the leader, the emotional leader of 2 national championship teams for the Georgia Bulldogs. He has been an impact player since he stepped foot on campus at Athens.
He has. The thing that scares me about him is I live by the spell it out in a sentence. What is this kid going to do when he comes into the NFL? And I can't answer that with Nolan Smith.
I believe I can sum it up in one word. Everything.
Yeah, that's yeah.
He can.
He's not going so he's not going in the top 5, but he can do everything. You are the definition of a homer.
Yeah, he can do everything.
He needs a coach that really knows how to narrow him in because he does do a little bit of everything. I think he's going to be able to come in and cover as a linebacker. Just you're going to have to put him in the right spaces. I think he can rush the passer. He's a good tackler. He's really solid against the run. I have said I think he's a linebacker the entire time because he's too small to play end.
Absolutely.
Which is why his best fit to me is with the New England Patriots. You give that little chess piece to Bill Belichick and just say, you know what, Bill, figure it out. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to look. You figure it out. And he's the coach that he's going to figure it out.
Yep.
What it's going to be, how it's going to look, I don't readily know. I also considered the Pittsburgh Steelers. Basically, any team that's got a really high-end defensive coach, that's where I want him to end up.
Mm-hmm.
And it could look different depending on the team. I like the kid a lot. Now, you kind of annoy me when you talk about him because, like every Georgia Bulldog, you think he's going to come in the league and just be, no, he's a.
I told you last year that I felt like Nakobe Dean got shafted. Basically, he fell in the draft.
There was a lot of wear and tear on his body,
but it was a hell of a value for the Philadelphia Eagles in the second round. Nolan Smith's better. He is a better prospect than Nakobe Dean. That's why he's being talked about in the first round, and there's never been a thought against it. And it's only gotten bigger.
Oh, no, there was a thought against it.
Was there?
Yeah, oh, yeah. He skyrocketed up boards when he did freak of nature athletic things
when he did
the
the 4.39 40 and a 41.5 foot vertical.
Oh,
yeah, I get it.
because the problem was he did not have a position. The thing is, this is not a great draft, so there's not super high end. So people are seeing the athletic freak going, I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that if he goes to the wrong place and he's asked to do the wrong thing, it may not look as good as you want it to. That's why I want him with a really smart coach.
I like it. Now, let's get into the last one in the top 10 here before we get on to the Sports Center update here at the top of the hour. My number 10, he's my number one cornerback in this class. I've said this before. It's Joey Porter Jr.
I get it.
It's not that I don't like Christian Gonzalez, and we're going to talk about him real soon. But Joey Porter Jr., to me, he is the more physical of the corners, and to me, it was the edge in the tackling between these two. I look at Joey Porter Jr. and I go, that's a dog. That's a dog that's going to get after everything. He can cover the run. He can cover in coverage. He can do all of the things. That's the greatest analysis, by the way, you're ever going to hear. He can cover in coverage.
Spot on.
I love Joey Porter Jr.
Man has a show with his name on it, and that's why. I like Joey Porter. He is officially moved to my third corner at this point.
Okay.
I push Devin. The more I've watched Devin Witherspoon, I just like him a little better. I feel like Joey Porter needs to go into a situation where there's already a dog in place, and he needs to be the 2 to start out with, and he really needs to learn how to get – he's very good at a lot of things. Is he great at anything? And I'm not so sure I see great at any one thing right now. So if there was a team that he maybe had a tie to, that maybe had a corner that was one of the greatest ones that ever lived, that's already on the roster, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times that it makes so much sense that it's never going to happen. Now, do I love him for that scheme? Not particularly right this second, but they've needed an influx of talent at corner forever. Patrick Peterson was better last year than he's given credit for, and he's the consummate pro in terms of corners. And I think he could tutor Joey Porter for a year. A year from now, he's the number one. And you look at how good that pass rush is with T.J. Watt, with Alex Highsmith. It takes some of the pressure off those corners. And some of the biting on double moves and different things that he did, that's why I pushed him behind Devin Witherspoon. Look, it's a fractional difference. I still like the kid. I just can't put him as number one because he's not the athletic just marvel that Christian Gonzalez is, and he doesn't have that 1 year of tape like Devin Witherspoon did on a bad team. I like the kid a lot, and I think Pittsburgh's his perfect fit. And I'll be honest with you, I would have probably, if Patrick Peterson had gone to a slew of other places, I'd probably said the same thing.
Yep.
It's not that his dad played there. His dad played in Arizona too. I like that fit. I just know he has to come in as the number one corner on the outside, and I'm not as fond of that. The thing I remember about corners is that if you come in and start getting burnt, A, you're going to get thrown at more. B, you're going to have to learn on the fly and start fixing these things immediately. With Patrick Peterson, okay. All right, so now we can take the rook off the number one guy, let Patrick do it. Then we've got game film to show him in the meeting room over the course of the week, and that's how you turn into a real pro.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We roll on with Tank's top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft and their perfect fits after the Sports Center update. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays near the French Broad River. 40 westbound is crawling between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Merriman Avenue northbound in North Asheville near Edgewood Road, some delays. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slowing. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road delays. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Taxes are due. Have you filed yet? Don't worry. Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. They guarantee your biggest refund, and they will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Go to Jackson Hewitt today.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another offseason defensive addition for the Falcons. They're acquiring cornerback Jeff Okudah from the Lions for a fifth-round pick in this year's NFL Draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates. The move is good for Okudah, the third overall pick in 2020, as well as Atlanta, believes Fitz and Harry co-host Harry Douglas.
Look at their secondary. They have A.J. Terrell, a young, phenomenal corner. They signed Jesse Bates, the third. From the safety position, they had Casey Hayward. Now you add a third guy in Jeff Okudah. And sometimes, guys, it's just the important factor that guys need a fresh start somewhere else, right? Jeff Okudah, he's plagued by injuries in Detroit, couldn't quite get things going. He's going to have that fresh start.
Jesse Bates III and Calais Campbell among the other defensive players brought in by the Falcons this offseason. NBA Pelicans forward Zion Williamson told reporters today he's feeling fine physically and will return to the court when he feels like himself. He's been out since January 2nd with a hamstring strain. New Orleans plays the Thunder tomorrow in the West play-in, with the winner facing the loser of tonight's Lakers-Timberwolves play-in matchup. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson out 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained left knee.
Coming up Wednesday, so which position group outside the quarterbacks will have the biggest impact their rookie year? I'll give you my answer. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome into the final hour of the program on this Tuesday afternoon. We're live in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Hey, if you're not watching us on YouTube, shame on you. You should be.
Throw us on in your car. You've got Bluetooth and all those different things. See us. It's just wonderful.
Exactly.
And you can hear every pick of our live first-round mock draft tomorrow. It's the last one before the April 27th NFL Draft, and that will be the one I officially put in the media contest.
Very easy to go to YouTube, search The Sportsocracy. We're the ones with a whole bunch of Draftmas videos. All you got to do is just like the channel, subscribe to it as well.
Actually, you search NFL Draft on YouTube, and they go, oh, you want those two fat guys that talk about the draft like 9 months out of the year. That's the one.
That is the one. That is the one. You can also go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Again, subscribe to the channel. That gets you into the chat with us here each and every day. We're rolling through my top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. We've made it through the top 10. It went Will Anderson down to Joey Porter Jr., all of the usual suspects in between. Did I go too crazy on anybody other than Nolan Smith?
There's a guy you haven't said yet that doesn't make any sense to me. You had Nolan Smith a little high. Other than that, nothing that's jumping out at me so far.
I feel good about myself. When Jeremy doesn't look at me and laugh, do the $1 Million Man laugh, and then call me an idiot, Yeah, I feel like I did an okay job.
You got 15 more to go. Maybe don't count those chickens till they hatch there, Puddin'.
The last one, Joey Porter Jr. at 10. I said we were going to talk about the other corner that's pretty much at the top of most boards. Next, the number 11, it's Christian Gonzalez. And to me, I said before, the difference between these two, to me, was the tackling. When I look at Christian Gonzalez's best plays at Oregon, I see a whole lot of arm tackling. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that in a corner defender in the NFL. Can he cover? Yes. Can he lock down guys? Yes. In the open field, I want Joey Porter Jr. 10 times out of 10 against Christian Gonzalez.
And here would be what I say to that. Who missed more tackles in college? It's Joey Porter.
Was it?
Quite a bit, actually.
Was it?
Yeah. Now, Christian Gonzalez was not thrown on all that much in the 1 year at Oregon, and he didn't play as many snaps.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's the freak of nature. He's very sticky in coverage. He's my number one corner, and it's not particularly all that close. And I want him with somebody that's – I hate to say this way – somebody that's a little creative schematically, because I do feel like, unlike Joey Porter, I feel like he can come in and be a number one corner right away. And that's why I think his best fit is with the Raiders and Patrick Graham. I do think Christian Gonzalez can come in as a one and throw at me. Is he Sauce Gardner good? No. But, I mean, that's
Go ahead and
that's
say it.
saying a
You
lot.
are.
Would you like to hear the list? Would you like to hear it again? I mean, it's not a knock saying you're not as good as probably the best corner, rookie corner we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's your big knock, which to me, that is it. And he's only got the 1 year of tape that was that high level. He played a lot of snaps, and he was good at Colorado. It's just that team was awful. So I have no reservations about Christian Gonzalez. I can tell you my number on him is drastically lower than yours.
Really?
He's in my top 5.
Oh, lower. I did that thing.
Yeah, I did the golf thing.
Yeah.
He's
It's
got a
lower
single-digit
which means
number.
It's better.
Yeah, he's got a single-digit. I'll put it this way. Without giving away where he fits in my top 300 before we unveil that, he has a number that if you drank that many domestic lights, you wouldn't say something really stupid.
Unless you're me.
Oh, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
You'd be dead.
Unless you're lightweight like me.
Yes, you'd be dead.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez is my 11. Again, not trying to knock the kid. I just like I like the more physical play out of Joey Porter a little better. Number 12, I feel like this is the guy that you said you were surprised I hadn't said his name yet.
I really hope so, because the further down we go and you don't say it, the more it's that $1 million man laugh is getting closer to coming.
It's Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. There it is. There it is.
Are you actively intoxicated right now?
No.
Okay, I was just making sure. I don't really understand what the knock on this kid is. I don't get it. If he played at Georgia, the production would still have been there. Is there some inconsistent motor? Yeah, because he played on a team that was terrible. I mean, genuinely hard to watch at times. But they won like 7 games. Yeah, it wasn't because of defense. I can tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
Tyree Wilson had to look around at times and go, do any of you even care? Because we are just getting drugged down the sidewalk defensively, and none of you seem to care. That's where the downside of him comes in to me. And so do the two players I'm getting ready to say play the same position? No, they don't. But is there a player in the NFL that would be better to teach a kid with an inconsistent motor how to be an NFL pro than Calais Campbell? His perfect fit is with the Atlanta Falcons. They've needed an edge for what feels like a billion years.
Forever. Since Jonathan Abraham.
It was John
Abraham, excuse me.
You get that name right.
Sorry.
Okay, he may have only been a Jet for a small period of time. He still got that dog in him.
He was good. It's not a slight.
I feel like Tyree Wilson needs to be in a rotation to begin with. He can do anything. This kid can play 3-4 end. He can play 4-3 end. He can play inside in a 4-3. He can stand up. He's just the thing I don't understand is that you like Nolan Smith so much. And if it's just the leadership, I get that. Tyree Wilson never got the opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He played for a team that was just flat out not good. And he's so versatile. I mean, look, every team I give him to in mock drafts, their fans come in and go, that would be the worst thing that ever happened ever. Shut up.
I'm not one of those. Here's the thing. I don't watch every snap. I don't watch all the all-22 tape that you do. I watch the best plays. And when
he
I watch
has the best pass rush tape of any player in this draft, including Will Anderson.
When I watch the best plays of him, it seems like a lot of his production came from the quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long, and he was doing cleanup work. Now, is that a problem? No, there are a lot of guys that make their living in the NFL off of cleanup work.
Mm-hmm. I get having knocks on him. Having him this low in this class it's just too low.
Okay.
He will not survive past 8. And I'll go one step further. If Jalen Carter's on the board, Tyree Wilson's on the board, the Atlanta Falcons will scream up there to take Tyree Wilson. No doubt in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the high side there is intoxicating. Now, is there a possibility that he flames out because he never really figures out what to do with the athleticism? Sure. That's a risk anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what they're building in Atlanta, and I really like the fit for him there.
I do like that fit. Tyree Wilson is he's also got this really keen ability to read plays. Kind of that hesitation move off the line to be able to diagnose the run and or the pass rush. I do like that about him a lot. Number 13. It's time for the first wide receiver in this class, and it's Quentin Johnston.
As well it should be. You would have gotten the $1 Million Man laugh again if you had said Jackson Smith and Jigba in front of him.
No. I have never looked at Jordan Addison at one time. I felt like was the number one guy in this class, but I felt like this past year Quentin Johnston just passed him with the I'm not a big Max Duggan fan, but he made Max Duggan look really, really
Unfortunately, the Jets are, and that gives me like the agita in my chest. I don't like it. I really wish that would stop being said because I don't like it.
Oh, why not? As a 6th round pick to sit 3rd string behind Aaron Rodgers?
No, I don't like wasting draft picks. Let's not do that. Look, I love Quentin Johnston. I know a lot of people don't. The tape is the good of him is better than what I've seen out of anybody else. Jackson Smith and Jigba to me is limited to the slot. That is where he's going to play in the NFL. I don't really believe in the heart. I don't really believe in some of the things that he did. And then you get the hamstring injury last year. And then I just look at the tape with Quentin Johnston, and I feel like you're going to need to be coached up, but I also feel like you're going to need reps.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me I'm crazy when I say this, but once I saw this, I couldn't help it. And I don't know if they've already had him in the building or if it's coming. I saw something about his visits. My best fit for him is the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
This is going to sound crazy when I say it. I think you put him with Odell Beckham Jr. and you don't let him go, and they become bestest friends. Because Odell Beckham Jr. had the same level of athleticism, but he was still raw in certain certain ways. I feel like that would be a good mentor for him. And that's weird to say for Mr. Instagram, Mr. Twitter, Mr. all those things. I actually think him and Odell Beckham Jr. would be a tremendous fit together. And then it gets into that could work with Tyler Huntley, or it could be phenomenal with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if I'm Lamar and I see, hey, we got Quentin Johnston and Odell Beckham Jr. to go with that run game and Mark Andrews, maybe we have rushed to judgment here on saying that we need to part ways. I love that fit.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they had him in the building tells me that they think he's going to get there. Which is stupid, but it very well could happen.
My number 14 It's the third quarterback in this class.
Oh, which quarterback's the third quarterback?
That's Will Levis.
Okay, let's see. We could put the $1 million man back
there
up.
is no chance. There will be no mention of Anthony Richardson other than this very second in this top 25.
I have taught you well, Padawan.
To me, it's Will Levis. I get that this past season he didn't have quite the highlight reel that you would have wanted for a top prospect in the NFL draft, a guy that's possibly going to go in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, because his offensive line, his wide receivers, and everything but one running back that only played half the year. The only way they're going to hear their names in a draft is if Allstate starts drafting their insurance agents in a draft, because ain't nary a one of them playing in the NFL.
No.
And this is another one that I've been locked in on this fit forever, and I'm not going to stop. I think his best fit is with the Indianapolis Colts. Because I look at Shane Steichen and go, what he did for Jalen Hurts, a lot of the drawbacks for Will Levis were drawbacks of Jalen Hurts too.
Mm-hmm.
They just were. Elongated throwing motion, holds the ball too long, turns to run too quickly. I mean, I'm reading that right off my scouting report for Jalen Hurts. And I see a lot of similarities between the two. I see more similarities between Will Levis and Jalen Hurts than I see between Anthony Richardson and Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson, to me, is way more Justin Fields than he is Hurts. To me, this is a perfect fit. And you put him behind a much better line. I know they had issues last year. They were killed. There's talent on that line. And I think the way it's going to be coached up, because, look, we've talked about what Carolina hired. I love that Colts staff, too. They've done a real good job of bringing in guys that can really sharpen the sword here. And the fact that Will Levis doesn't have I mean, you say Michael Pittman's not a 1. I think that gets the $1 million man laugh too.
Right.
He's a 1. To me, he's a no doubt 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the schematic fit with the Indianapolis Colts. Plus, I'm in a division where I've got 2 teams that I don't know exactly what they are. I have no expectation of being better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're better than you right now, period. But you get him in there for a year. He takes some lumps, but it's not he got sacked 67 times. It's he had some fumble issues, fumbled it maybe 8 times, maybe got sacked 40, high 40s, low 50s. And at his size, if he holds up to that in a year, I had a playmaker, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be fun to have him. And then I've got Michael Pittman in the high-level receiver because next year's a much better receiver class. And now I'm looking at Indianapolis going, okay, we had some bumps in the road there during those Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger years. But now I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see the future of the franchise. And Will Levis gets a lot of hate that I find to be painfully stupid.
To me, the big red flag and the comp on the red flag to him is Josh Allen. He may turn the ball over a little more than you like, but wouldn't you trade that? Like if you knowing what you know now, and you go back to the year that Josh Allen came into the league. Well, hey Jeremy, would you not trade that in for what you did in the draft?
Oh, no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
I mean, the fact that the guy might drop the ball here and there, it really pales in comparison to what else he can add to my team, and that's how I feel about Will Levis.
Look, you can say what you want to about Mel Kiper. I mean, there's a reason he's been doing this longer than I've been alive. He has him as the 2. And it's because if you'll give me just 30 seconds here to spitball on the Will Levis thing. I feel like the people that rail on him the most are the people that have watched the least amount of tape because you do not know what you're looking for. I'm not telling you that it takes I've been doing this for over a decade. So I've seen a lot of quarterbacks that duped me over the years. I've also seen a lot that I missed out on because I was looking at the wrong thing. And if you don't think that having the worst roster in the SEC, which he did, the only ones that even debatable would be Vanderbilt offensively, and you were able to keep Kentucky competitive, I can't figure out what it is you're looking for unless you're doing what I did when I first started out in this of you're only looking at the end. You're only looking at the destination, not the journey. And if you watch that with Will Levis and you watch that with Anthony Richardson and you see the latter as better than the former, I hate to break this to you, you do not know what you're looking at. Is it possible Anthony Richardson's better in the NFL than Will Levis? Absolutely. He goes to the right situation. He's able to sit, whatever the case may be. In terms of prospect, if you're telling me he's better than Will Levis, I'm going to level with you. I'm not going to listen to one more word you say because you've completely invalidated yourself. To me.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We roll on with the top 25, my top 25 NFL draft pick prospects next.
Saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge is slow. 26 westbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound delays near the French Broad River. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. An accident reported on Sweeten Creek Road near Caribou Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Whether you are spraying down the shop or getting winter's grime off your own home, a pressure washer from Northern Tool says you're serious about spring cleaning. From all-electric Power Horse to Honda-powered Northstar models, they've got the right machine for any type of clean. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor.
Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating. I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild.
If you haven't watched the show yet, get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount+.
Have your outdoors and running water, too. With Luxury Lou, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family-owned and local, Luxury Lou Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Lou's are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty John.
Ew.
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Lou. Visit LuxuryLousRental.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
We are back in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. Tanks top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft, and Flo Stradamus adding in the perfect fits
for each and every one of them, and, rightfully so, laughing at me when I get one wrong. Like,
there's only been one of those so far.
Having Tyree Wilson at number 12 in this class was just a bridge too far.
I feel like I've been very nice so far. You haven't said. You've only elicited that laugh out of me one time.
Mm-hmm. Now we're at number 15, and it's Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback at Illinois.
Hair low for me, but nothing that I'm going to object to.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of talk. Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon are the top two for most people, most prognosticators in this draft class. I like the physicality of Joey Porter. I think
Porter's ahead of Witherspoon for most people. He's not for me.
Yeah, I think his coverage skills are on par, if not better than the other two. But to me, it's the physicality. Now, Devin Witherspoon, he can also drop the hammer.
Dog.
Right.
His
most famous play. His most famous play probably has to be against Indiana, where he just decleated a receiver and took his helmet, like literally popped his helmet 15 yards down the field. He can lay the hammer. He's really good in coverage. Again, it's not a slide at the kid. I just think the other two are a little better.
There's two big things you can knock him on. He's a little thin. You got a little thin frame here at about $180. He's 6 foot, $180. Okay, that's a little thin. Then he ran a 4.39, and you watch this year's production, he was phenomenal. The problem is that this is the only year he's been that guy. And my argument would be is that he got much better coaching with Brett Bielema as the roster is turning into Illinois was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So as this rounded into more of a big boy talented roster, that's when he started to show. So I don't really hold that against him. For me, his perfect fit is with the Washington Commanders. If I'm Washington, I'm going to sit right there at 16 because I've been told he's not going in the top 10. I do not see a team in front of them that will take him, and I will sit right there, wait for him to fall in my lap, and I will be the happiest team in the NFL.
What makes him such a perfect fit for the Commandos?
Because I think he can come in and be a number one corner. I think he can get the CeeDee Lambs and the A.J. Browns, and I think he's going to hold up to that. I mean, is he going to press you? No, probably not, but he's so sticky in coverage. And are there going to be some lumps? Sure. But I think this kid is – I'm not sure we haven't just scratched the surface of how good he can actually be. And I know you're not a big Ron Rivera guy. I mean, he's been pretty good with defenses over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I could choose much. There are many places he would go and not get the same level of high-level instruction as he would get with Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera.
Number 16, Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College. I know you love this guy.
I was wondering how long it was going to take for you to say the name of my little boyfriend. The small size does concern you. The way he plays does concern you because he plays like he's much bigger than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And in the NFL, that could ultimately lead to him being hurt a lot. But he's so fast. He's such a good deep threat. I mean, he's so good. And he didn't have high-level quarterback play, and yet he still torched teams. In the ACC, he still absolutely torched good defenses routinely. And he can play on the outside. He did at Boston College. I think he can in the NFL. I don't think he is only a slot receiver, which is something I would say about Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the kid.
Finds a knack to get open. He's got dangerous speed, and he's got sure hands.
I'm not sure that teams aren't going to look at the 40 time and go, well, he's not as fast as I thought. Watch the tape. If he's not as fast as we think, then you're saying ACC defenders are just slow as molasses.
And I'm sure there'll be that argument out there.
No doubt.
That he didn't play against top corners in college.
No, he didn't play in the SEC.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you only want to draft SEC receivers, then more power to you. And my perfect fit for him is the Minnesota Vikings. The thought of him on the other side of Justin Jefferson is just intoxicating to me. And I think he would take pressure away if you try to shield that extra safety over, then you're really putting a lot on one corner or on a safety over the top, and he catches a double move, and he's just wide open. And then you add in KJ Osborne, he scares you enough that you can't really lean on Zay Flowers either. So they need another outside receiver, and I think they would easily fill that hole with Zay Flowers.
All right, let's stay in the wide receiver class here because at number 17, it's Jordan Addison. Former Biletnikoff Award winner. I think he's got a little bit of, do-everything guy in him in the NFL. He's a guy that I believe you can move him around. You can play him on the outside. You can play him in the slot.
And see, this is where I have a different opinion with you. He's a slot
exclusively. You don't think he can play on the outside?
I don't, because I think teams are going to see him and just I shouldn't have said it that way. He can play on the outside in obvious passing downs.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know you're throwing, okay, then that's a little different. Where I think he is really going to make his hay with a team, he runs a high-level route tree anyway. A lot of people that come out of that USC offense, they can't run a route. That's why you haven't seen there haven't necessarily been a ton of Lincoln Riley receivers that went where you thought they would, because the further down the rabbit hole you go, the more you're not dead positive that they can actually run a route. Well, I've seen him do it. I saw him do it at Pittsburgh. And so then he goes to the Pac-12, which is faster, and he's still open all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want a drawback, he is thin. I do think he plays best in the slot. And he has had high-level quarterback play his entire career.
Right, with Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, and then, of course, with Caleb Williams at USC last year.
So, and now that's a double-edged sword. Do you think he was part of the reason that Caleb Williams was propped up and wins a Heisman and is so I think there's part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Did he make Kenny Pickett better?
Yes.
Absolutely he did. But I've also never seen him with a lesser quarterback. And that, I will say, that scares me a little bit. And now his best fit is, you're probably going to say I'm nuts here. And I know fans of this team are going to say I'm nuts. Because you have bigger needs than this. This is just, where would he be the best Jordan Addison that he can be? Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, so this would complete the picture here. You would have Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, and then you put Jordan Addison in the slot.
And now allow me to explain that. What is the biggest drawback right now of the Buffalo Bills? The offensive line's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me how you send a pass rush at that. You got Stephon Diggs on one side, you got Gabriel Davis on the other side, you got Jordan Addison in the slot. And you got Dawson Knox that can just pick up all the leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you blitz that? Okay, conversely, name me the offensive lineman you can draft in the first round that's going to fix that problem. Ooh, there's not one.
There's not one.
Yeah, there's not one.
Not where you're drafting.
This is going. People seem to forget this. Before you hit the Joe Tooney, before you hit the Trey Smith, before you hit the Creed Humphrey, that was exactly what Kansas City did. Oh, you want to blitz me? I'm going to make you pay for that. Well, now they've hit on so many linemen, they don't have to do that. Now it's just chuck a bunch of fast dudes out there. Whichever one catches the mismatch, Pat will find it, away we go. This simplifies the offense to the highest extreme. And now, is this a bit of a cop-out? It is, because I don't love Jordan Addison with the Giants. I know the Jaguars really like him. I just feel like it's kind of a hat on a hat of how many slot receivers do you need? Now, if you think he can play on the outside, that's your 3. You're going to push Zay Jones to the 4. Okay. And they are a team I've heard with him a lot. I think his best chance to make a real immediate impact in the NFL is with the Buffalo Bills.
All right, number 17 is Jordan Addison. I think he's going to have a great career in the NFL.
And I think he's going to be really solid no matter where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, where can he be the dog that I have seen him be?
And that is
Buffalo.
With the Buffalo Bills. You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll take a quick break. We'll pick it back up with number 18 next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic crawling 240 westbound between Shuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 3 due to an accident. The center lane blocked. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 westbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road, southbound, again stop and go between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in the Fletcher area. Near Avery Creek, Pavard Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway, northbound, approaching Sand Hill Road, slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If April is showering your company with open job positions, check out Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job today and get hiring by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week. Check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
The #1 health podcast in the world, thanks to each and every one of you that come back every week to listen, learn, and grow.
Sharing his conversations with the biggest stars in the world.
There is no perfect person that you find. It's who you make it work with.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio, as always. And we're in the middle of my top 25 prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. And, Flostradamus always gives you his top 25s or top 13s or whatever.
By the way, that's how that's said correctly, for those of you that like to say my little nickname in your fun way. It's not new. It's not original. Okay? I called that 1,000 times. It's not new.
Indeed. Anyhow, Flostradamus is going to give us the perfect, and has been giving us the perfect fit for each one of these prospects. We're down to number 18, and I'm going back to the running backs. His second running back in the top 25 for me, and it is, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama.
I love this kid. I've been told he's going. There's no doubt he's going in the first round. It's just a question of to who.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of teams that have 15 or less first-round grades, and it seems to be pretty consistent that he's one of them. He's just a do-it-all back. Now, am I sure he's ever going to be the between-the-tackles guy that you can no doubt count on? I don't know. I think so.
He can be.
I think he can be. I just don't know that he will be. Worst-case scenario, he's Austin Eckler.
I could see that.
That is, to me, that's his worst-case scenario is that he plays out of the slot some. He's just an absolute matchup nightmare because you can't put a linebacker on him because they're too slow. Can't put if you put a corner on him, then you do other things. I just think he's a matchup nightmare. And his best fit in the NFL, to me, is with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, good night.
There is it's getting real loud that Cincinnati may look to move off Joe Mixon after June 1st. The legal troubles, they're saving the money because they can get out of that deal. I mean, it's not going to be painless, but it's not going to be that painful either. And there's a thought that Jahmyr Gibbs would bring more to that offense than Joe Mixon currently is.
That would be phenomenal. He is a hell of a pass catcher. He is, he can run routes out of the backfield. He gets the ball in open space, and he's just shifty enough to make secondary players miss. Linebackers, it's not even a question. He's going to make you look foolish. And I do love the fact you said you don't know if he could be the between the tackles guy. I don't know if that's his every down kind of thing, but he has that ability kind of like Le'Veon Bell to be able to have that hesitation in the backfield, find that skip step, squeeze through the hole, and then once he gets into open field, he's gone. You're never going to catch him.
He's a very patient player. And I think look, I don't have him as high as Bijan Robinson, but it's close. He's closer to Bijan than any other running back in this class is to him.
And it's not close, in my opinion.
Not really, no.
Number 19. I feel like this might be a little low for you, Jeremy, but most people don't have him in the top 25 of their list, but he's a guard. He's a guard. It's Osiris Torrance from Florida.
He's not sexy. You're not going to win the press conference with him, but he will come in immediately. You're going to run the ball just a drastic amount better. He's a monster. And the guys I had down in Mobile said that dude's got the biggest legs I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm. And he checks every box. When he has a play, I'm not inside the huddle. I don't know what the assignment is, but you give him an assignment, he's going to take care of it. Is it going to be splashy? Is he going to be blocking guys 15 yards down the field on a run play? Not necessarily. I don't know that I've seen that from him, but I have seen solid play where he will just make sure that his guy is eliminated from play, sometimes two guys. Sometimes he will take 2 or 3 guys out of the play.
He is, as Brian Haynes, our New York Giant friend, loves to say, he is a hog-a-molly.
He is.
He is a terrifying human being. And his best fit is with the Seattle Seahawks. You've already hit the two tackles. Abram Lucas, Charles Cross. Neither one of them is a road grader in the run game. And I think Osiris Torrance I think he's good enough against the pass to come in and start right away. You're going to lock him into one of those guard spots. And I think those two being so good against the pass props him up a little bit. And he's so good he's so good in run pro that I think he props them up a little bit. Because he can be the pull guard that gets out in front of Kenny Walker, and you just go, well, I wasn't looking forward to tackling him anyway. And then you put a house, you put a double wide with a big wide load on the back of a flatbed coming right at me. And I love this kid so much. And that's hard for me to say because I hate Florida. And we all know I'm not doing anything you didn't already know.
No.
I'm a lifelong Florida State fan. But, man, he's fun to watch.
Another guy who I think is fun to watch comes in at my number 20.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's fun to watch. And the reason that I have him this low on my list is because he did not let us watch him on the biggest stage of his season. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, the wide receiver from Ohio State. I cannot. If I were an NFL GM, I would not have him on my board at all. Laying out of the national championship picture, laying out of the playoff was ridiculous. And that's one of those things that I don't care. I look at him and I look at Jalen Waddle. Remember how Jalen Waddle got hurt at the beginning of the season for Alabama and then just rushed himself back to make sure that he could play in the national championship game and be there with his teammates? That's the kind of guy I want. I don't want the guy who's going to lay out.
And there's he was too hurt to play. Well, that's not what I'm told. I am not as fond of Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's been – he had better – statistically, he was better than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Okay. You ever seen him be the dog?
No.
Other than one game against a Utah secondary that had no shot against him. He has never one time in his career at Ohio State been their best receiver on the field. Never. He's got number 2 coverage or worse his entire career. Now, am I telling you he can't be a productive NFL player? No, I'm not. But I think he needs to be coached and coached hard, which is why I'm going to give him to somebody's meemaw.
Yeah!
Brian Daboll and the New York Football Giants.
And I like that
I think
fit.
It's the best fit. I have racked of all the guys because I've got about 40 of them lined up here. Just in case, all I got to do is switch the number with whatever you tell me in each commercial break. This is the only coach that I look at. Him and Pete Carroll. I loved him going to Seattle. That might be a little high, and it's not as big of a need. That's a luxury pick for them, and if Osiris Torrance is on the board, that's who you take.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of him being coached by Brian Daboll is about the only way I see him reaching his full potential. Because I think Ryan Day, we'll just say I am not a huge Ryan Day fan. And I think he let him slide on a lot. If you get a coach that he can run all over, I think he will. And there's some prima donna to him that I'm just not wild about. But if you get the maximum of the talent out of him, he could be Garrett Wilson good. And the thought of him being in New York, Garrett Wilson being in New York, there's a lot to like there to me.
Next up at number 21, it's Brian Branch.
But he's so slow.
He's not, though.
By the way, when you comment that in our YouTube comments, that face that I just made, that's what I see. I can't hear you say it. That's the look I assume you're making when you say that.
Brian Branch, the safety out of Alabama. What do you like about him?
He is just the unbelievable move piece. I mean, I've compared him to Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've compared him to I've compared him to a lot of guys. And I think he can be every bit as good as every one of them that I've said, if not better. And this safety class is bad. And there's one coach, and I'm not saying this is who I think they're going to draft. There is a possibility that there's a run on tackles that happens right in front of this team, and they just have to make chicken salad out of chicken excrement, and that team is my Jets, Jets. You know how scary that defense already is?
Mm-hmm.
Let's add a safety that I could just put anywhere on the field. And he can blitz, and he can line up with your slot guy. And Jets have had a problem at safety forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brian Branch would fix it immediately.
Yep.
Every team I give him to in mock drafts, they always push back on me of, well, he's so slow. I don't care how fast he ran in a straight line. Watch the tape. Now, is there an argument that he never gets any better because he was coached by Nick Saban? Yes, and you could say that about every defensive player that has ever come out of Alabama. He's no different.
Mm-hmm. But he's very smart. He's got great field vision. Angles to the ball are great.
Ask yourself this.
I like him.
I always say this about guys that run slow. Did you ever watch him at Alabama and go, he looks slow?
No.
No, you didn't. It's because he's real smart, and he figures out ways to get around the fact that he's not straight line fast.
Number 22. It's another Georgia player. It's Broderick Jones.
This kid's a little more raw. I know the talent is there. I've seen the talent. I feel like there's a next step for him, and I just never saw it at Georgia. He's, to me, of all the offensive linemen, he is the most projection. The most, the talent's there, and I can get it out of him. which is why I don't have him with the Jets. Because, and trust me, in mock drafts, he falls there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what position you're going to be asked to play, and I really want you to get good at one of them. I don't want to see the Elijah Vera Tucker thing where you start at guard, then you wind up at right tackle, then you're at left tackle. If you're going to be a right tackle, I want you to be a right tackle. If you're going to be a left tackle, I want you to be a left tackle. And there is a team that really, and this is assuming they don't move. There's a possibility that they do. But there's a team that I know needs a left tackle and doesn't necessarily have the most outrageous expectation of how good they're going to be this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that team is the Tennessee Titans.
Could have swore you were talking about my team there for a second.
He's not falling that far.
He won't make it to 19?
No, and
okay.
that's where I know we've already said this, but it bears repeating. This is that they could go. I mean, best fit. Bryce Young's best fit is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No.
Not possible.
Yeah, that's physically impossible. So I didn't do any of that. I think he would fit nicely with Tennessee. You can get that power run game to begin with, and I can teach you some of the pass blocking sets.
Mm-hmm.
There were times he got very lungy against the pass, and I'm afraid that's going to happen early. And it's just a thing you have to know.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We got 3 left. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll round out Tank's Top 25 2023 NFL Draft Prospects. Go ahead and mark your calendars if you haven't already for the NFL Draft. We will cover each and every pick live on the YouTube stream. We'll be right back.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic crawling 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 3. Due to an accident, left lanes are closed near Westgate Parkway. 240 eastbound slow between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound is stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. Parts like lift kits, intakes, exhaust, tires, lighting, and more. From custom grills to tonneau covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Final moments of the program. It is time to round out my top 25 prospects for the NFL draft and Flostradamus Jeremy Green's best fits for them. At number 23, it's Dalton Kincaid, the tight end out of Utah.
I mean, look, he's a little raw. He's a very good pass catcher. He kind of reminds me of Dalton Schultz, to be honest with you. And it's a lot of projection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because in terms of actual production on the field, he was not as good as Michael Mayer. Is his high side higher? Athletically, yes. I don't personally see him as a better player. I think he needs to go into an offense where he's not going to be the 1 or the 2, and there's one of those right in his wheelhouse, the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I think he feels that look, I think Michael Mayer feels it better, but with the weapons you have in Dallas right now, I don't necessarily need him to be this super high-level pass blocker like Mayer is, and so I can cover that deficiency early on.
Mm-hmm. I do want that. The best pass blocking highlights that I have seen from Dalton Kincaid came against much lesser competition.
Oh, yeah, he's very raw as a blocker.
Right. So that dings him for me. Number 24, Felix Onadike Uzama.
This is a guy you have way higher than I do.
Okay.
I mean, I've got him, he's in the mid-40s for me.
I like his pass rushing ability. I think his vision on the field is one thing, and he's rangy.
He's very rangy. Rusher. I'm not sure that he's ever going to be I'm not sure he's ever a 3-down guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I'll say that scares me. I'll just say that scares me. And I think he needs to be on the opposite side of a really high-level pass rusher, which is why his perfect fit to me is with the Carolina Panthers.
On the other side of Brian Burns.
Yeah. I like him as the second-round pick there. I can't tell you that that's where they're going to go. It's who I had him with in the last mock, and once I saw it, I couldn't really unsee it. I just think it's a nice natural fit for him where he can come in and do what he does best and then try to round his game out because he's not a complete player right now.
Mm-hmm. And at number 25,
there's a player you haven't said yet. If you don't say his name, it's going to make me angry.
John Michael Schmitz.
There it is. Got to talk about the Hogamollies. This is one of the highest-rated centers I've ever had. And I can tell you both New York teams are really hot on him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a possibility he doesn't make it out of the first round. That's super in the realm of possibility right now. And I'm going to say something that I have said a few times before. He's definitively not making it past the New York Jets. You want to know why they've been so dogmatic that they're not giving up that second-round pick to the Green Bay Packers?
It's earmarked.
Because they're drunk in love on John Michael Schmitz.
And would they possibly trade back up into the first round to get him?
You never.
If they fear that he's going to go.
With Joe Douglas, you never say never.
And we never say never when it comes to mock drafts here in the Sportsocracy, except for after tomorrow, because this will be the last live mock draft that we have before draft day.
And we will have live all 3 hours of tomorrow will be mock draft. We're talking about things I've heard, where it sits right now, and then we will have the final one, which is on April 27th, the day of the 2023 NFL Draft.
And we will see you back here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow on ESPN Asheville at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful spring weather unfolding for western North Carolina. Not as cold tonight. We're in the upper 30s tonight in the valley, and sunshine for Wednesday, high 75 degrees. Thursday, sunshine, mid-70s. Watching an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico organizing. It does bring some rain in late this week to western North Carolina with rain showers Friday, high 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Laurier-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 3 due to an accident. Left lane's blocked. 240 on the eastbound side, slow between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound is crawling between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slows west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound again slow between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in Fletcher. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.